Look at the time. It's 7 p.m. on Tuesday. It's time for the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. We got a great show. We got the crew in here. We got Jamie Wells, retired Army Sergeant Major. And it's a great day. What's going on with you, Albert?
Man, business as usual, bro. I'm down here. I was just talking about it earlier. We're down here freezing our butts off in Florida, man. That's why I moved here, so I have to get away from the snow. And here we are with inches and inches of snow. But it was pretty cool. Sat outside with a fire, drank some cold beer, and here I am on this show with my brother. So, I mean, hey, wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So I'll kick it over to Matt.
Tuesday. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. And don't forget, T-minus 2 weeks till Matt starts the championship run of the T-shirt contest. I just need to keep reminding y'all that. February 1st, we're going to start the T-shirt contest. You guys already know what's going on there. And I can't wait to talk to our guest today. On to the fourth place T-shirt seller, Blake.
One and done, number one. That's me. I'm him. I am him, and him is me. This is DJ Royalty. This is the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. The show is ready to go. The fellas is in the building. Let's do what we do. And Matt is going to be number two. That's me.
What do you mean by number two?
Yeah, that's second place. That's first loser. That's what he's saying.
Okay. I thought he meant something else, you know?
Which really means that me and Ty are number 3 and 4, which is really bullshit. Matt's going to be number 4.
Yeah.
Man, well, I mean, come on. Look at these shirts, man. My shirt is obviously going to sell the best. Wax poetic, baby.
First of all, since I'm glad we got Jamie on, because I'm going to learn how to run a smear campaign. Because I'm going to smear the shit out of Matt. I'm going to dig up all kind of stuff from his past and pick baby pictures and shit.
Which is going to in turn wind up with nobody selling T-shirts because nobody wants to go to the website, and I'll be like, "Damn, he taught me."
I'm gonna call Jamie's campaign manager.
But I think I did it too good.
You're smeared, Matt.
I need clearance. I need some clearance on how this is supposed to work. I don't think I have a clear understanding. How does this work, man? You got to explain it. Clear understanding.
Explain what?
T-minus 2 weeks. What is going to happen?
February 1st. All the shirts will be live on the website. People can go buy them. Everybody's going to get a QR code. And you can go advertise and push and market and stripper pole dance your shirt away if you want to.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Do whatever you're going to do with it. And so as long as you advertise well, people will go buy your shirt. And once all the counting's done, whoever sells the most, 10% of the sales of all the shirts from all 4 of us, 10% of that goes to charity. So we're all doing it for a good reason. At the end of the day, this is about bragging rights, dude. I lost one game that was important in the playoff this year, so now I need to win like the whole thing, dude. It's called the redemption.
I'm really salty that you're using a QR code. I'm going to Google what that is, how to use one. I'm going to have to figure all this shit. You should have, you know what I mean? Like, you got no flyers, bro.
All you got to do is be like, "Hey, Kenzie, do this shit for me." And it's over. It's done. Yeah, it's done.
What website and who's counting these damn polls? You know, I don't trust the poll system.
Same flag, same oath.com. The only way you get a check mark in the column is somebody buys the shirt, and I can pull the report and show you how many have been sold. So unless somebody spends money, you don't get a number in the win column.
I'm gonna buy all my own shirts. I'm about to.
And if you really
run my savings account out.
If you really want to do it fair, we'll let Becky track it.
Oh, Becky's last name is Johnson. How the fuck that's going to be?
Her maiden last name is Nagel. So we're good. Like, we're good. Becky Nagel got it. Johnson.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Hey, we'll let Tatum track it. I trust him more than
what?
I trust
his last name's Cobb. What are you talking about?
I wouldn't trust Cobb with numbers.
No,
okay.
For real. It'll roll. Like, if people buy it, it accumulates. I know how many
t-shirts.
I know how many t-shirts I've sold the day we opened. What's that?
I'm buying $1,000 in my own shirts.
Well, then, thank you.
I'm gonna rig the election like it's 2020. I'm about to do it up.
You can do whatever you want, buddy. I hope you do sell $1,000 worth of shirts to yourself. I'm excited about that. I'm excited. You can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Me and Blake need clarification. I don't feel like this is. I feel like the game's already.
It's very easy.
God, we
so let me ask you guys this question: when your kids go sell candy door to door to play football, who keeps those numbers, and how you know those is legit?
Bro, I buy all the candy bars, so I ain't got to help my kids sell nothing.
But how do you?
I'm not going door to door, bro. I'm like, just give me them 2 boxes. Give me them boxes.
How do you know that the count was legit when they're like, "Oh, Timmy Smith won, Timmy," and you're like, "That's bullshit."
I know because like if I made sure before my kid turned it in, I saw that she was like at 127. So as long as it said that Brooklyn sold 127 candy bars, then I know that if the winner sold more than that, then I'm sure their pair would have did the same thing. But I know that if the winner sold 122, but I know for sure that Brooklyn sold 127, and I have an argument. So
that's all good. So basically what you're saying is, because this is a contest, you don't trust me and you need to control it.
That's not what I said. I just asked who's going to count it.
All Scott said was he needed clarification.
You know what? In this instance for this contest, really, I hope you don't know how many t-shirts you sold, because then that means that only people in the four walls you're with bought them, because we should be able to market this thing enough where people we don't even know are buying them. Right?
Yeah, look, here's the point.
It's just a way for us to get out there, and also to help someone.
That's the point. We're gonna help a veteran charity. That's what matters. So
so
I'm gonna do my best.
All those veteran charities out there, Al Hero about to go broke making sure I'll get 10%. I'm just saying.
I got you. In fact, I'm gonna donate to Jamie Wells' program. We're gonna do his charity. I got it.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Speaking of Jamie Wells.
Yeah.
Go ahead, introduce him now. Or Matt.
Oh shit, my bad. Go ahead, Matt. You want to do it?
No.
Oh, okay, I got this. No. I got this. So super excited about having Jamie on. I met him by happenstance, right? I was actually just in the parking lot of the damn Winn-Dixie, right? And they had a bunch of booths set up, and I happened to walk over there and realized he was a veteran. So you know how it is, veteran recognized real. Started chopping up with him. Talked to him about his program, what he's doing. Kind of had an instant connection, and then reached out, asked him to be on the show. He graciously obliged, and we're bringing him on. He's got an awesome background, retired sergeant major in the Army, Ranger, infantry guy, so he don't take no shit from nobody. And the cool thing is, outside of his nonprofit, he's actually running for office, which I'm super excited to get into that. And I know Ty is too. We love talking to veterans who are going into the political realm. I like to see what some of his stances are on veteran issues and things like that. So excited to get him on. So let's go ahead and bring him on.
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I mean, okay, so hold on. When's the election?
So ours has not officially been announced right now, because they have a special election for Congress happening now. So until that's over, they've talked about they're not going to announce ours because they don't want to confuse folks in the district.
Perfect. You came at the right time. I was going to say, I hope we don't keep in mind, if it doesn't go well, it's not our fault. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's right. If anything, it helps. But even as I talk to folks now, they're already saying, "Hey, we can't wait to see you in Congress." And I have to tell them, "No, I'm for state legislature. Or now we're just getting ahead of the game. It's not announced." So I see why they're doing it. It would be confusing for folks. The only downfall of that when we get to it is because they've delayed our election, that there'll be no representative at the state or federal level for Florida this first upcoming session, and so that hurts the area and Florida specific.
That's all right. You guys have Al's daddy in the seat. He'll make sure.
Bro, we got Ronnie D, baby. This is the free state of Florida, dude. I mean, we ain't got to worry about shit. We good. We are good here.
I knew your daddy'd help you out. It's all good.
Ronnie D, baby.
Look, if you call Al Hero and pretend you're his dad, Ron DeSantis shows up on the phone. I don't know why.
I got his pictures in my cell phone. That's how sad I am. I'm like such a fanboy when it comes to Ron DeSantis. I got a picture of him and his family, like they're mine. Like, this is us. I wasn't there that day. I was busy, but I'm such a fanboy.
Well, right. Jamie, so we start every show by, really saying thanks for coming on. We appreciate that you're here. We can't wait to learn more about you, but we start every guest off by asking them to just give an introduction to yourself. We would like to know, where'd you grow up? What was it like growing up? And take us right up to the point where you enlisted into the Army.
Absolutely. So small boy from Newark, Ohio, small town outside of Columbus. I was raised by my mother. My mother and father divorced when I was a baby. So I was raised by my mom, my stepfather. My mom was Iron Maiden. You talk about tough love through and through. She had me and three boys to take care of. And so we walked the tightrope. Grew up there in the small suburbs. Went to Groveport High School and graduated there. Knew I wanted to go in the service, and so I had waited. Initially, I was following a boxing dream. I thought maybe I'd be a pro boxer one day. One day, the reality came in that I wasn't going to be where I thought I was going to be, and the Army was my second choice, and so I enlisted in the military. Actually, to go back, I went to talk to a Navy recruiter because at the time, everyone has a fantasy. And at one time I wanted to be a SEAL. And so I went and talked to the Navy instructor, recruiter, and they explained that you could go to BUDS, but if you fail and there's a high success or high, failure rate for BUDS, that they can put you anywhere in the Navy that they wanted. And at that time, I wasn't ready to risk that. So I said, I'll go ahead and take my chances. I joined the Army and I went, that route, and later became a Ranger and was happy with that. But yeah, if looking back now, I might have took that chance just to see, but it ended up well for me. So, and then
I'm just shocked that he met the only truthful Navy recruiter ever. Like, this dude told him the truth. Like, I'd have been like, look, bro, if you fail that, they'll just make you like air rescue or something cool. Like, you ain't got to worry about it. Like, his recruiter told him the honest to God truth. I'd have been like, no, bro.
No,
if you fail the SEALs, you become like junior SEALs. It's a new program. I'd have had him on the bus, bro.
He broke it down. I watched that video. I'm like, where do I sign? And then he said, now let me tell you, if you fail, you could be scrubbing the barnacles off the side of a ship somewhere. And I was like,
hell yeah. Hey, spoken like a true recruiter of the year, Al.
Yeah.
True recruiter of the year.
Back then, so
man, that dude was honest. I don't like him. He didn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't work for me.
That's crazy.
He could have had me for sure, but it worked out well. And I raised 6 kids and love what I did in the military. And I always say, getting to the top is what we think is important until you're out, and then you're out. You realize getting to the top was only important to yourself while you were in the service. Once you're out, if I could go back now and maybe been retired as a sergeant first class, or even as a first sergeant, E8, and still had more time with my family. Looking back now, I would have done that. But
sure,
at the time, you're trying to raise your family and do right. Trying to make your parents proud, and so you do that. But you do learn when you transition out that getting to the top has a different meaning when you're out.
Yeah. So, join the Army. So, did you join the Army knowing that you were going to become a Ranger, or did you join the Army and then you had to do it after? Like, what was that process for you? Because you said you wanted to be a SEAL, so you went to the. There's nothing wrong with silver. You could be a Ranger. It's cool. But did you know, like, going in when you joined the Army, that's what you were going to do?
Yeah. Well, I did. But now I'll tell you a funny story that I tell my son. He laughs. He just joined and graduated basic and is in airborne school now. But I told him, what motivated me was Rambo when I was a kid, right? And so I wanted to do the Rangers, special forces. I just wanted to be a machine gunner and shoot and blow stuff.
Is that me?
No, I think I bet he got a phone call.
Did you hear? I was like,
he got a phone call.
Is that me?
Hey, my internet. Hey, bro, I'm looking at the screen, it goes black. I'm like, oh shit, bro, what did I touch? what did I do?
It would have been great if you did your normal reaction and we see shit flying all over the thing. Be like, yeah,
I was worried.
You'd be like,
I'm looking at buttons.
It wasn't me.
My internet? Did I just freeze?
I know. I think he's on his cell phone. He got a phone call, I think. So hey, if you're
do not disturb,
Sergeant Major, just log back in and we'll get you back up.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, is that me?
Normally it is, Scott. You already know.
On that Wi-Fi, that when that Wi-Fi shaky, you're like, oh.
No, bro, it works better when it's cold. This shit's been good today.
Yeah. That's because I'm on my hotspot.
Just don't tell my job, okay? Don't tell my job.
Yeah, the worst is that to come. It's cold, right? It was snowing, but tonight is when that freeze is going to happen.
That's what's happening. It snowed crazy here, and it's supposed to be like 15 in the morning. I'm like,
I don't care about no snow.
Bro, that's no disrespect to the shit out. I salted my driveway, bro. I walked outside. I was like, that's no disrespect to the shit out of my driveway. It wasn't even no snow. The snow was just stacked up on top of the salt rocks. I was like, damn. And I salted the hell out of my. I got that pool salt out. I salted the hell. Disrespected. This is Florida. That salt was like, bro, I don't know what are you doing?
That's cute.
It was crazy.
It's that ice. It's that black ice is what's gonna catch people. Everybody's gonna think it's all good because it snowed.
That's what That's what it is. That's
who it's not gonna catch.
It's gonna be for real.
You know who it's not going to catch?
Who's that?
Me, I work
because you
from
ain't
This
leaving the
guy,
house.
because I'm not going outside. Why?
I'm good. I'm standing inside. I got my pajama pants on right now.
Yeah, I went to the grocery. I got the things I needed. I don't need to go nowhere.
Yeah. I'm good.
8 inches of snow in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Becky's got friends that she just showed me pictures. They're standing in like Metairie, New Orleans area, and they're waist deep in snow. Talking about 3 or 4 inches, huh? I was like, that's how I measure 3 or 4 inches, especially when you go waist deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish
There's my grandson Maverick. He was out in the snow today, made himself a little snowman.
Future Kentucky football
right.
player.
You see that UK gear?
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah. So you can tell people who haven't seen snow, like real snow, because that's for me, that's flurries. What we got, that's like snow flurries. That's not even snow.
Bruh. This
Not
is how
not down here, right? Yeah, maybe for where you're from. Yeah, I guess so. But it was pretty crazy here today. I mean, it's knee deep. It's crazy.
Yeah, but here's how non-ready the South is for snow. There was going to be like 6 inches in Beaumont. They issued a blizzard warning. So you know that people in Colorado, North Dakota, they're like, "Oh, that's cute, blizzard, huh? Okay."
Yeah.
What about the 15 feet we got last week?
Right.
Yeah, I saw the blizzard warning. I got nervous, but I'm from Kentucky, so when it actually started flurrying,
Right?
this ain't no freaking blizzard.
You know what? Y'all stop, okay?
You sound like what I do when I go to what is that? Dairy Queen. And turn my thing over, my ice cream falls out of my cup. This ain't no freaking blizzard.
Yeah.
That don't look like no McDonald's.
Yeah. McDonald's.
Welcome back. Sorry, mate.
Back.
Yeah. I need that comms guy. I started telling that hula story and they cut me off. So.
You must get a phone call.
Look, your campaign is looking out for you. You just don't know it. They're like, can't have that one on the air.
Yeah.
Campaign manager was like, not today.
I guess we figured out what was off limits. All right, well, I've locked them all out now, so we should be good.
I mean, let's go then. Let's finish the story.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, I got in and they said, "Here's the pig." I ended up carrying the 60 at the time and realized real quick I better reevaluate where I want to go and what I want to be when I grow up. And so then I started looking at the being a ranger and become part of the ranger community and push myself to, do whatever I could. And so every opportunity that came open, drill sergeant, the different schools that came open, I jumped at every one of them and the military was good to me and I got to go to those things and not only, be an inspiration to my boys, but show them like, hey, I'm not talking the talk, I'm going to do it. And as my leadership progressed, one of the things I said, especially when I went to, obviously there's a difference between ranger qualified and living in the ranger community. And I dabbed in both of those, but to get my tab, one of the things I noticed was a lot of guys went to ranger school and they came back different, or they were very different mindset, I guess you could say. And I told my guys, hey, look, I'm going to go to ranger school and I'm going to become a ranger. But when I come back, I'm the same guy that I was when I left. And even the rest of my career, I mean, that's a lot of guys said as they came in, you're one of those guys who didn't go in and change. You didn't come back and all of a sudden, just hammer everybody because they weren't. But I try to motivate guys to go to ranger school. And then, later I got my chance to go to, the regiment for a year and a half and learn a lot there real quick too and grow the rest of my career. So.
Nice.
What was the biggest thing you learned in Ranger School, Sergeant Major?
And Ranger School was just when you think that you've had enough and you're going to quit, if you click that button, you can go further. There were times. I remember one Ranger buddy I had. We woke up and we had promised through the whole school, like no matter what, we're not quitting. We'll stick together. And I woke up one morning and my battle buddy, my Ranger buddy, was gone. And I asked the RI, I said, hey, I'm not sure where my buddy went. And he said, Ranger, he checked out last night. We offered warm pizza and a hot shower. He was on security. He was down, pop smoke. And I was like, son of a.
You're like, that bitch.
Yeah. Because they play those games like, come on down and get some hot pizza, get a shower. But I was.
You don't have to suffer.
I'd have quit for a can of I'd have quit for a can of Vanna sausage and an RC Cola. I'd be like, fuck this. Vanna sausage there. You got some saltine crackers and the hot sauce. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So here's the question. This is the one that I love to ask, though.
Yeah.
This is the one I love to ask. Why on God's green earth would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Willingly too, by the way.
Black minds want to know.
Well, I tell you,
our black viewers would love to know.
Yeah. I told my son, because he's in week 2 right now, and I said it'll be different when you hit that door, because you're motivated, you want to do all you can, and I thought initially, not have been in that community before, when I jumped, it was going to be these big square patches, and I was going to see it coming down to earth. And instead, you hit that door and you realize, like, holy shit, there's the trees, and you're not very high up at all. And they're like, go. And so I told him, wait till you hit that door the first time. You'll have that oh shit second. And,
yeah.
You got no choice. You're there now, so you go. But
Hell yeah.
1,200 feet is not very high.
What's that?
1,200 feet is not very high.
I
Yeah,
mean,
see
not
what I'm
within your
saying,
mind,
dude?
you were thinking.
Yeah.
And I always seen like little squares, patches of this is the earth. That's what I thought I was going to be looking at. When I got to that door and he said, go, I was like, holy shit, I see the trees.
Moving down there.
I'm going to splatter on the trees as soon as I jump out. What are you
I
talking
can
about?
see a dog right there walking right there.
And I was only about 180 or 190 pounds, but it damn sure didn't seem like I stayed up and floated like some of those boys just be like this in the pictures.
Yeah.
Wow,
So my question is this, right? So you jump out the plane. So you jump out the plane, and it doesn't go well, right? Let's just say,
yeah.
And no offense to anybody who's ever fall out of a plane and splatted. I'm sorry, but let's say you fall out of the plane and you splat. Everybody who has to now pick up the pieces from that. Are you angry? Are you mad? Are you like, damn, bro, you shouldn't have jumped out of that thing anyway? Like, tell me how I'm supposed to feel when I get the call. Someone jumped out the plane, the gear didn't work right, and then they on the ground.
You got a reserve by your side, bro. You heard it.
I was going to say that's.
I
got a reserve. Yeah,
I got a reserve by my side.
By my side, yeah, bro.
Come on, baby.
Somebody didn't follow the fundamentals of that happened. I mean, it can be an emergency, but I wouldn't know what the hell to tell you. At that point.
Well, you better trust this. You better trust the shit at your parachute riggers. That's who you buy steak dinners and stuff for. Those guys that actually pack the chutes, like the PRs in the Navy.
The red hats.
Those are the guys you treat like they're.
But I just wonder, is that
sure?
How often does that happen, or does it never happen? I really never heard of that. I never heard of anybody splatting, but
not like that. I mean, I've had guys have partial malfunctions or get tangled and be injured or land on something wrong, but I've never had somebody burn in on any times I was around.
I think I've probably heard of maybe 3. I know the last one was at Fort Campbell sometime between at Fort Polk between 15 and 16, and I remember General Milley was involved in that one when he was the big 4-star. But yeah, I only heard it happen maybe 3 times where someone like completely burned in, never.
3 too many times for me.
I've heard some SEALs. There was a couple of SEALs who were injured years and years ago, but I think it's more likely that your helo is going to crash than you're going to get hurt jumping. That's the truth. Helos go down a lot.
Even more reason. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, goodness gracious. Look, I'll tell you what, for real.
I went through fast rope school. I would never want to go through jump school.
Hats off to you guys. Enough. Man, it takes balls to do that, bro. You can jump out of that plane, good on you, for real. Now, if we're both on an airplane at some point and it's going down, I'm just going to jump on, dude, and I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to ride the way down. Like, I know you know what you're doing, but
I'm about to ski everybody in the cabin.
You know what I mean? Like I bought a ticket on this ride, right? You pay me to be safe, and now you want me to jump out of an airplane. I don't know.
It's adrenaline rush.
Well, I mean, let me just wax poetic about this for 1 second. So, I mean, airborne, air assault. Whenever you go to these types of schools, you're gonna get some very matter of fact. Yeah, and you're gonna get some very matter of fact words. I mean, a lot of times when you're jumping, you're preparing for combat. So a lot of times when you go into combat, there's going to be losses, and it could be for a myriad of reasons. A plane could get shot. You could have a failure on your primary, your reserve doesn't work, bounce, whatever it is. You may get drugged you may make it all the way to the bottom and then get stuck in a tree and fall or whatever. But the deal is that, like Bob says in the chat here, a lot of times that there's some inherent dangers going on when you ask to go to Ranger school, when you ask to go to airborne school. Not so much air assault school, but sure, you're rappelling out of helicopters, air assault school, any of those special classes and courses and tabs that you get in the Army. There's an inherent risk that most people that they really accept. And Sergeant Major there's got a bunch of stuff on his uniform, so he's had to accept that 3 or 4 times. So I know we were just joking, but I do have to say a lot of the people that are doing this every day, they know there's inherent danger, and it's almost accepted.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I just my favorite question is, so when you did though, like the first time you jump out, were you second guessing when they opened the door and you saw the trees? You were like, shit, this probably wasn't a good idea. Or you're like, oh, whatever, let's do it.
No, you have that first like 2 seconds, you're like, oh shit, then let's go. And then after that, you don't care anymore. It's just repetition.
Yeah, I'm sure after you've done it once and you go like, oh shit, I did survive. Yeah, I'll go do that again. That's cool. Let's go.
And there's a few overhood guys that probably say they didn't, but I guarantee vast majority when they first seen it for the first time, you have that 1 or 2 second shit, it goes, and then you go.
That would have been me. I would have been the guy that jumped out and been crying the whole time. Oh my god, tears flying out my eyes. But then when I land, I was like, man, that shit was easy. Like, well, why you got tears in your eyes? I say, man, that's because the wind was blowing in my eyes and made my eyes water. But the whole time down, I was crying like a little bitch the whole time down.
Hey, Scott, know what the worst
I've been wanting to do that jump.
The Navy does. We don't do air assault like Ty and them like the Army, but we have our own courses, own classes. So I did the rope and tower and the rappelling. And the day one, they bring a guy out there who purposely like jumps out this tower and like flips up and down and gets hung up in his rope and he's screaming, and they send somebody out to like the basic rescue guys to go out and like show you how to and you don't know it's fake. Like you're sitting up in this 200-foot tower and there's a dude dangling below you, like up in this rope, tangled up, and that's exactly what you feel. You're like, can I go back down them stairs? Like it's immediate. Like, fuck this. Yeah, I'm not doing this. And they're like, all right, we just want to show you like what happens. I'm like, you do that shit after I graduate from this course. Like you show me that shit on a video. You don't do that. And they do. They have a dude, he's dangling. They send these two army rangers or whatever they are down this tower, like to rescue this guy. They clip in on him. You're like, what? And they're like, all right, bro, you're up. I'm like, what? Who's up? Who?
Yeah, look. Do you see all that shit? They turn and be like, all right, who's ready? Like,
when I was a drill sergeant, we used to do that. And when I was a ranger instructor for open house, we would do those demonstrations. But I'll never forget when I was a drill sergeant, one of the guys, he was doing an Aussie rappel down, and he lost his hand grip. And so that drill sergeant literally ran down the wall and boom, hit that sawdust. And they dragged him around the back so he could catch his breath. And all those.
All right, next. You're like, what?
All those privates was like, that was our drill sergeant. They were scared.
And the shitty part is there's supposed to be a guy on the ground, the safety guy, who's supposed to like catch you before that happens. Yeah. So what that dude was doing, I don't know, but he got fired that night. Like, hey, bro.
They took that drill sergeant around. He said he thought he died, but they pulled him around and get his breath. And all those fighters, nobody wanted to go.
So
that's that part where that warm shower and that pizza that you talking about, your guy was
came in handy.
Yeah. You would have heard that water, and I would have already been in there drying off. Talking about, hey man, what time they bring the pizza out?
Yeah.
So Sergeant Major, so you graduate Ranger School. What's next? What do you do? So you graduate, you make it through. You're a Ranger.
Yep. Come back. I was squad leader at Campbell at the time. They had a policy at the time. You had to wait 6 months before you could go back to airborne school because they want your body to recover from what you went through at Ranger School. And so finally, I got to go back to airborne school. I was there. I was at Fort Campbell as a squad leader as my second duty station, and with Roxxons. And then I got
Roxxons.
Yeah, then I got selected to go to be a drill sergeant at Knox. I thought I was going to go to Benning, home of the infantry, and train my boys. But when we went through the program for the school, they said, a lot of the infantry guys were teaching tactics and techniques, not strictly out of doctrine. And so they were taking a lot of the infantry guys and splitting them up to different areas. So I ended up going to Fort Knox and training everything but infantry, which was still a great experience. And it opened my eyes to some of the other, you get fixated in your MOS, and that was one of the first places I learned to work with other MOSs and learning the importance of, as a young staff sergeant, I was only 4.5 years at the time, how important those other MOSs are. And as you grow the pillars, to those ranks, you better know how to use those resources because, if you're like, hey, piss on you, you're not an infantry guy or whatever, when you go to those supply guys, they're going to remember that. When you go to the S1 and you got pay issues, they're going to remember that. So you learn how to work with those guys and how to get things done, and collaboration, is key. And as you go, platoon sergeant, first sergeant, all those relationships become important. And that not only transfers from the military, but in civilian life as well. But You can't just be pound. When you're a young kid or a junior guy, you can pound your chest and yell and get things done. As you progress, you got to have more in the tool bag than just pounding your chest and a hammer.
So I got a quick question though.
Mhm.
So I heard did you say that you were in 4 years and you were a staff sergeant?
Yeah, I made I got selected at right about 4 years, I believe, because 3 years I made sergeant in 3 or just under 3, and then I made it at 4, and about 6 months later, 6 or 8 months later, I was selected. I went to drill sergeant school.
Dude, that makes sense. I told Ty the other day when you sent us your pictures, I was like, how old is that dude that's a sergeant? Like, he looks so young to be a sergeant.
Yeah.
A sergeant. He was like, yeah, huh? I was like, that dude ages well. But then if you made, how long did it take you to make sergeant major? Like, how much time were you in?
I made sergeant major in 18 years.
Damn.
I made 7
Yeah,
and
you
7.
did age well then. It's all those jumps out of the airplane.
Well,
bro.
now my body's
That
catching
air
up
hits.
to me. So trust me, once you get out, it catches up. But when I was in, I was a steamroller. But I said, one thing I learned that's changed in the Army too, and I think all the military, and I'm glad is they're really doing a focus on, the strengths of smarts. And I say that only because when I was in, and especially in the early 90s, there truly was mostly 2 types. You were strong, or you were hard, or you were smart. And very seldomly were you both. I
remember that.
I rode the hard train for a long time, and I'm not saying that to be, braggadom. That was my mentality. The problem I learned later in life and in my career was that's great if you're hard and that's what you're known for as long as you can produce. But when your body starts giving out, you can no longer be hard in that sense. You got to catch up to be smart. But the smart guy, he can make dumb decisions, but he never gets dumb. So if you have a choice between hard and smart is the safe.
Hearing your stories, I'm hard right now. Oh, different. It's different. My fault.
Multiple surgeries. You can't run those runs like you did before. You can't hike like you did before. You learn real quick. Like, okay, now they're going to stick you in a staff pool or something, and that's what happened to me. They took away my rifle and gave me a keyboard and said that's your new primary weapon system. And I'd waited my whole career to be that infantry sergeant major and kicking indoors, leading guys, and well, not kicking indoors as a sergeant major, but leading those boys who are going to do that. And all of a sudden, I'm stuck with a keyboard, and I'm an operations guy, and I'm just like, that was a big pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made 7 and 7, I think 8 and 13, and then I made sergeant major at 18, and then spent my last 5 years as a operations sergeant major.
Nice.
But I say that because also I had great guys. I mean, a fraction of what you do makes you. The boys that you have that work for you are what makes you. And I was hard on those guys probably my first 5 or 6 years because that's how I was brought up. But then once I got, to probably platoon sergeant and on, you learn that those boys make you, and you need to take care of them, not just drive them, to hell and back. And so you change your leadership styles as you grow, but you also learn then that the boys respect you more. You can still be a top producer, but the boys, when the boys know you care about them more than just barking orders and trying to look good, you get a lot more done. So I was graced with, only a few times that I had bad leadership, and the rest of the time I had great guys below me and great guys beside me. And that's what makes the difference. So it's not one guy or your thing. It's the teams you can build, but if you produce them well, I mean, they take care of you and they make you look good.
Yep. Leaders make leaders. That's just a proven fact. Yep. Real leaders develop younger leaders, right? That's what it is.
Right.
You teach them how to be you. You teach them how to lead. The arrogant ones beat their chest and say, I did this, I did that, I was this, I was that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're not that great of a leader if that's what you are. Everything starts with an I. But you can tell, like you say, you give credit to those who actually made you look good. But they make you look good because you've given them the tool to develop themselves to be productive and sufficient. So yeah, that's true.
And that's one thing, I learned growing in. There's a difference between physical maturity and professional maturity. And because I got promoted early, I never hated on the guys that got promoted early because I was one of them. But I did see that there were times because I got promoted early and I was still young, 27 or 28, I think, when I went to be a drill sergeant. And I remember when I was a platoon sergeant, I had a 40-year-old squad leader and he would fall out of run sometimes or fall back, and I'd really dig in his ass because that's the way I was brought up. Like, hey, that's the standard, you make it. And he pulled me aside one day and he said, I'll give you everything I've got, Sergeant, but at 40, I hope one day when you're my age, you see this and you can do the same things that you're pushing now. And I didn't get it until I later became 40 and my body had taken its toll, and I could still make the runs, but I was fighting every day to keep those, standards. And so some things don't hit you until you're professionally mature, and you have to see that. And if I could have went back then, I definitely would have been easier on that guy. He was one of my best squad leaders ever. But at a 27-year-old to have a 40-year-old squad leader, one, it was hard because of age, but I didn't see it, and I had one standard. And as you grow and develop professionally, you learn that there are some difference, and there are age differences that, there's certain standards still have to be met, but there are some grace areas that you can make.
Yeah,
no doubt. What years were you at Fort Campbell, Sergeant Major?
90. Let's see. I was in Hawaii, 94, 97, 97 to 99. 97 to 99, I was at Campbell, and then 99 to 01, I was a drill sergeant at Knox.
Okay, I was at Fort Campbell from 99 until 2009, so I spent 10 years there in the 716th, right down the road from Rakasans, and so I got to see a lot of those leaderships from the brigades, and a lot of those deployments developed throughout the time. And the way people were in 1999, before 9/11 happened, was a complete contrast to the way people trained afterwards. Because before we were, you better have some very, very shiny boots, and the motor pool better be spotless and online. And then afterwards, you actually have to start training about how to fight these wars. So what was the I love Fort Campbell, so tell me your favorite Rakkasan teaching moment or learning moment, if you don't mind.
Well, I'll tell you, the funniest was when we had the Iron Rakkasans come back. They have the annual get together, and the funniest one, I was a sergeant at the time, and we were hosting the Iron Rakkasans to come back, and that's all the old timers that jumped in and did all those amazing things, and a different caliber of person. Well, they were at a banquet that night, and two of them wanted to get in the pool, and we were told absolutely under no circumstances, don't encourage it, but we're not having that. Well, I had one of these sergeants that was 60 some years old, and he said, well, I'll be goddamned if they tell me what I can and can't do. And then in his uniform and everything, he just jumped in the pool. And then all of a sudden, all these old timers started jumping in the pool, and it was like an ethical dilemma, because we were just told not to do it, but we're also showing them respect and doing shit. And then all of a sudden, 15 of us jumped in the pool with them. And it was just an ethical dilemma, because I knew we were probably going to get our butt slammed for it. But it was like, how do we tell these guys after what they've been through that they can't jump in the pool? And it was just, and later it became a laugh, but that was one. And then I'll never forget when you talk about respect. One time I mouthed off to somebody that, you get a little bit bigger than you think you are sometimes, and you think you've earned a right to say something. And I called off to a platoon sergeant one time as a squad leader, and he got me in the corner, and he was like, there's new school and there's old school, but I'll straighten you out quick. And I realized right then, even though we're in the Army, I was about to get taught. And so that just stuck with me after that, is always know who you're talking to, and always, even if you don't respect the person, you respect the rank. And that kind of stuck with me, because for a second there, it was almost like we talked earlier, jumping out of that aircraft. And, I was having an oh shit moment, like this just got real, and I thought I was prepared for anything, and he called my card. So just knowing when's the right time to say things, and when you think you can mouth off, you might want to think about it before you do, because some people are on a different level than even you are. And I thought I was pretty big at that point, but that's one thing I learned in my Army. I did a magazine article the other day, and that's one thing I said. One thing I learned in the Army is you're never as good as you really think you are, and there's always somebody who's done more. So staying humble, again, with professional maturity came later in my life, is to give credit to those that worked with me and that did things, and to stay humble, because there's always somebody out there that's done more than you, or will definitely shadow you down if you think you're above it.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, we're with Sergeant Major Jamie Wells. Sergeant Major did a bunch of years in Ranger, Airborne, Air Assault, spent some time all over the place. When we come back from break, we're going to get into his nonprofit and his political. So, Scott, you want to take us out?
Absolutely, sir. This is a Triple Threat Vet podcast. I'm your man, DJ Royalty, in the building. We have my man, Jamie Wells. Well, it's my man, but it's Al's man, but it's Matt's man, but it's Ty's man, but it's all y'all's man. It's the American man. You know what I'm saying? Another great American hero. But we are going to be right back after these messages. It's your time now to pull in somebody. Tell them to come in and join us. You guys go ahead and get you something to drink, get you some popcorn, whatever it is. But call somebody and tell somebody to come in, and we're going to keep this thing going. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with my man Jamie Wells and the Triple Threat Vet podcast crew. You know how we do.
On average, we lose 22 veterans to suicide every single day. These heroes who once fought for our freedom now battle invisible wounds. Mission 22 is dedicated to healing our veterans and providing them the support they need. As a leader in our community, we stand with Mission 22 as we believe in giving back to those who have given up so much for us. It's our way of saying thank you for your service. For more information, visit mission22.com.
Proud, patriotic, purpose-driven. Welcome to Got Your Six, a veteran-owned t-shirt brand that's more than just apparel, it's a movement. We're a small veteran-owned business founded for those that understand the meaning of service. At Got Your Six, every design we make tells a story of courage, sacrifice, and an undeniable bond between those that protect and serve the country and communities they love. Our mission, to honor veterans, first responders, and the values that unite us all. Whether you're showing off your pride or gifting it to someone that served, Got Your Six, we've got you covered, literally. When you shop with Got Your Six, you're not just buying a t-shirt, everybody. You're supporting a veteran-owned business, giving back to our community, and wearing your values proudly. So join the movement. Shop now and let your shirt speak for you. Visit us at Same Flag, Same Oath, because you know what? Freedom is always in style.
Freedom is always in style.
Why you sound so angry in your commercial? You're almost like you about to slap somebody. Like you sound angry.
Are you muted? You're muted again.
I'm glad.
Unmute yourself. We can't hear him anymore.
You're muted, Matt.
I hear you, Matt. He pissed his microphone off. Now the microphone doesn't even want to talk.
Got Your 630 culture. We don't get angry when we sell our t-shirts.
Log out and log back in, homie.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Say something, Matt. I thought I heard him say something. No?
Nope.
Oh,
damn.
Walkie-talkie.
Get him one of them chirps, them Nextel chirps, Scott.
Get him a walkie-talkie.
Give him a Nextel chirp.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but
nope, you still ain't got you.
No.
What do you push on the brake? Damn, we ain't been gone but 2 minutes.
Something whenever we play videos, it mutes him. I don't know what the problem is. It's I don't know. Something weird. But anyway, like I was saying with Sergeant Major, like these guys that are infantry guys and they learn so much. I know he's talking about like being nice to the support MOSs and stuff, but I'm telling you, the culture at Fort Campbell when I was there, I learned so much from those combat MOSs. You know, I was a 25 uniform, 29 Echo, and I learned so much from just being around those infantry guys, from military police guys, the route clearance guys, you know, combat engineers. Those are mainly the units that I spent with, and I tell you, they're just a plethora of knowledge from all aspects. You know, from flash to bang on everything you would do on a deployment, everything you would do in garrison. I mean, it's just wonderful to see some of that going on, and I know that a lot of those skills that he learned while he was in the military are going to directly translate to him being able to delegate, you know, operate and find a nice network of people when in his political career. So let's bring him back.
About to say his
Matt's
leadership.
trying to get on.
Yeah, his leadership though, Ty. I like his approach. You know, Scott asked him some questions. I like his stance and where he, you know, the humility as a leader. I think it's going to carry him far in politics, right? The way he carries himself and the way his approach to leadership and remaining humble, even though you know as a sergeant major, he knows, you know, I'm Big Dick Willie, bro. I'm the top, right? But to stay humble and treat people with respect and show grace as a leader, that's a big. I could work for him. I mean, he probably wouldn't like it, but I could.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring Jamie Wells back on, and we'll figure out what's going on with Matt here in a few minutes. All right, so now that we talked about your military career, I didn't mean to cut you off with your military career, but I wanted to make sure we got to your political stuff and then your nonprofit stuff. So talk to us a little bit about what made you want to get into the political realm in the first place.
Yeah. So I've been working so when I retired in 2017, I did background investigations for about a year for everybody that needed, like, you know, military or governmental clearance. Then I dealt with the transition period, like most veterans when they get out, was, you know, I didn't have a problem leaving the Army and realizing, like, I left my rank and my uniform behind it. My house doesn't have a bunch of military stuff, you know, set up, but I wanted to help veterans. And so I started working with veterans. And as it came up this last election, I was looking at the next term, but our local representative had resigned in order to run for Congress. And someone just said, hey, if you were ever going to run, now is the time. It's a special election, so it's shorter, less money is required, less time, resources. And I said, you know what, if people get behind me and they take it serious, I don't want to be a joke. You know, I don't want it to be for the wrong reason or someone think that I'm just bringing hype or looking for a job, because I don't need that. Then I'll run. And we've picked up some big progress. We've picked up a lot in the community. And so I seen, you know, that we really have a good chance at this. And my two sayings or slogans for most of the campaign have been, one is our slogan is the people's voice and the people's choice. And that's because I'm doing it for the people, not for myself. And the second thing is that for me, that we need a patriot and not another career politician in office. You know, we have a lot of establishment guys. There's some good folks that I want to work with that are in office. There's also some folks that aren't so good folks, and we need to help get the right people in there so that we can make some things happen. And I tell people, you know, I'm not a maverick. I'm not coming in waving a sword saying I'm going to fix everything or fight everybody, but I am going to ask the questions, and I'm not afraid to ask those questions because of my leadership background. And the advantage they have with me versus some of the other guys is, you know, some of the other candidates are career stepping. This is a career move for them. So if they get that seat, they're going to have to play nice and do what the other people tell them, because they have that carrot over their head. In order to get to that next level, that's what they need to do. I'm there for the people. So I'll work and collaborate with everybody, but I can't be swayed in that direction of it. You know, if it's not what the people want, that's what I'm going to fight for. And if it doesn't move me up the ladder, that's okay, because I did what I want to do in the military. I only do these things now if it motivates and inspires others. And I'm hoping that if I can pull this off, and I plan on it, then other veterans will get involved within the network and have voices. Other folks in the community who think you got to have a lot of money or you got to come from a certain family, so they don't ever run. If more people would get together and get behind these folks, we could get some normal blue collar, common thinking people in there and at least level it out. And like I said, there's some great people in there. I'm not downing them, but there's some also people that need to go. They're just kind of holding chairs.
Right. Yeah. So what are some of the issues going on in District 3?
Yep. So absolutely. So for me, the number one thing is insurance. You know, that we're pricing folks out of their homes. And I use my mother as an example. She's a 73-year-old, lived in Gulf Breeze for the last 25 years. When she first moved in, you know, her insurance was $450 for the year. It's now $4,500. She almost can't afford her home. And there's many people that are echoing that story. So, we need to have a plan of working with the insurance or setting up stipulations that the insurance can only climb so much. And, we lost that effect with the CFO that we currently have in place, who is running for Congress. But, we could have got ahead of this. And so I've got a task force that I'm slowly putting together of professionals to work with me on that. And so that's my number one thing. And again, not promising we're going to slay it or change, but we're definitely going to approach it with the parameters of we need to put some kind of limitations on this and enforce those things that are already being in place before I get there. My second thing is I'm for growth and development here in Northwest Florida. We need it to stay relevant, and we need it to continue to grow and thrive in business. However, we've ignored the infrastructure for many years, 10, 20 years back. It's not the election and the folks that are in office right now. It's a series of folks that have kicked the can down the road, who haven't got the funding. Either it wasn't available or we didn't work with the right people to get things done when we needed to. And so I want to go after that with, again, the right people and the right teams. And let's find the areas that need repaired the most. Let's get ahead of that, because we can build all day long. We're putting up neighborhoods, we're putting up things here and there, but where is the infrastructure to support that? Whether it be the roads, the bridges, new buildings and schools, all those things have to be in place. And I know the current delegates that just held their town hall here a few weeks ago, and they said, it's going to constrict the budget here soon because that free money or that big money we had before is not there anymore. But there's some things that we can't ignore for too long. And so infrastructure, again, is my second fight. And I tell folks we need to put words in front of it like, critical, catastrophical, crisis, because if we just say we have a problem, if we say there's an issue, then it gets ignored and it continues. When you mention a crisis, we're definitely having an infrastructure crisis. We definitely have a mental health crisis. We definitely have a fentanyl crisis. People will pay attention and get a hold of that. So infrastructure was my second. In the military, the biggest thing for military and first responders, I have a mental health plan or program that I want to try to put into act. One of the things I hear from a lot of the local law enforcement that was very common in the military is they have a couple of programs, and they're good programs, but they won't go to get help from them because they don't want the stigma, or they don't want to take a chance of pulled off their position. And so I'm looking at putting a program or a course together. I'd like to get in front of, the House and obviously with the governor's approval. If you look back at how he did the school program, where if you were a combat vet, you could be a teacher, looking similar to that with the mental health thing. And I know there's a Northwest Mental Health Task Force and some other things, but what there isn't is that type of program where the veterans can get pulled in. And I look at myself, for example, and many others. For 18 of those years that I was in the military, I was counseling family, finance, professional development, growth. And then you get out in Florida, they say, if you don't have a master's degree, you can no longer do that. And so we have a lot of veterans out there, if they were screened, that are good veterans with a lot of leadership that could help in those areas. And so if you think of like a lawyer and a paralegal, right? So you couldn't issue medicines. You couldn't take on the big jobs, like people that are, at critical suicide or a breaking point. But those people that are in recovery, those people that just need a little bit of help, you could work with them under the advice or supervision of a counselor. And that way, instead of a 6, 8, 9 month wait to get help, you could get help, even if it's a B or C level care. At least you're getting some care versus no care. And then the other thing, veteran specific, I'd like to see is a Class B station put up in District 3. And that would be, if you think of almost like an urgent care, so your radiology, your pharmacy, possibly a counselor there, a VSO, having that in that area, because the Pensacola Jack is a 140% overage right now. And so it takes you 4, 6, 8 months to get an appointment. If we had something like that in place here, it'd save time, money, and resources, especially with the Eglin Hospital getting ready to close down. It's going to get stacked and stifled. And so something like that could help both veterans and, like I said, there's some LEO attachments in that. Those are my top 3 things. I do have some educational things and the fentanyl crisis to work with too, but those are really my top 3.
So what do you think about, I don't know if you've watched our program before, but what do you think about maybe the supplement or augmenting of all the VA service, or maybe like a complete change to some of these services that are ran by previous military people? Don't you think that some of those things can work better? Maybe like the yoga nidras, some of the ayahuasca, some of the medicines. You talk about the opioid. What are some of your plans to get people off of opioids?
Right. So I can tell you, if we were backtracked into what we do with our nonprofit, but as far as some of this holistic, and I think that's where you're going, or that's what you're talking about, some of these holistic treatments that are out there. The problem with those are we have to get them documented and we have to get them into the system. And some of those are slowly starting to come into the VA system so that veterans can use them. Because if it's not approved, most veterans can't afford the treatment. And so if the VA won't approve it, they can't go to it unless they pay out of pocket. But I'm 100% for those things that work and that are proven to work on trying to get those approved and into those kind of systems. The only problem is, again, they have to be validated. And there's so many out there that are questionable. And then there's some that are proven. Again, that's kind of above my level, but I'm definitely interested in working with some of those things, because we see that right now it's too easy to go to a doctor or the VA or a regular doctor. You tell them some of your symptoms, and because of standards of care, they have to medicate first through, trial and error before they get to an actual solution that works. And so, I'm all for getting veterans off pills. Trust me. And anything that removes pills from our veterans and community in general is a good thing. But again, they have to, if you approve too many without the validation behind it, then you have those that come in that ruin it for everybody too, because they're, made up or belief, and they get a few people hyped on it. And that ruins it for the ones that are credible. But back to your question, no, I'm for those type of treatments that take folks off pills and give them a natural, holistic treatment.
I think they should do
Absolutely.
a veteran Karma Sutra program. Like, I don't know how that would work. We could teach classes, bring some freaks out, do a Karma Sutra class for veterans. It's like yoga, only freakier. I think it'd be pretty cool.
I don't think I can use that. I don't think I could use that on the campaign trail. But,
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
yeah.
You could be the lead instructor, Al.
Man, I ain't flexible like I used to be, but I mean, I could direct.
And veterans are good. If folks will listen, veterans are good at telling you what does work and what doesn't work. And I think that's an important piece that we need to continue to work. I have a little bit different of a relationship at the VA. I mean, I've pretty much been good and taking care of most of the things that I need. One of my good friends, Jason Boatwright, works out there, and he's a huge asset when guys are having issues. And he helps show me, some of the programs that are there that are moving, or how to get approved. But I think if the veterans pull together, one of the things is we're so, decentralized. If we would become together, and one of my sayings in our nonprofit is collaboration over competition. If we all pull together, if we all work together, instead of worrying about our little pods, we could do a lot more. And I think if a lot of veterans truly pulled together and focused on some of those, issues or treatments that they want, we could, if enough people were together and voiced, that those things could happen. I do work with an equine therapy program that we've had a lot of veterans see success in. And some of them have also, came off some medications with therapy. Of course, like I said, with going back toward the nonprofit side, with what we do with veterans, everything we do is to help reduce pill intake and natural and, vitamins, and working with the brain functional fitness. So there's a lot of programs out there that are good, that are going that way. Again, we just need to bring those together and have that sounding board to make it go forward.
Absolutely. What you got, Al?
No, I think it's funny because, I mean, me and you've had these conversations when it comes to, especially with the veteran collaboration side of it. I know me and you've talked pretty much in detail, Ty, many times about what could we accomplish if we actually work together, right? Whether it's through the VFWs or through other veteran organizations, if we actually, instead of just coming together to bitch and whine, and that's what we're veterans. That's what we did in the military. A bitch and CB is a happy CB, right? So if we could actually come together and focus some of that energy and that those gripes and complaints towards a common goal, even starting small, right? I think a lot of times and I've been to VFWs and veteran organizations where, everybody has these issues, and you want to tackle all these issues at one time, and I think they all get lost in the sauce, right? But if you could focus on one thing as a veteran community and really work towards establishing a team, right, or a Tiger team, or a little special operations team to go tackle these issues and really bring them to the forefront, for politicians or for your local government, and actually tackle them, I think we could really get a lot accomplished. 100%. I agree with Jamie on that for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I really appreciate your people's choice, people's voice, people's choice slogan. That goes a long way to say that you're going to work with the people. And like you said, you said something over competition, working
collaboration
together.
over competition.
Collaboration.
And that's for everything, whether it's military or civilian. Same when I get to the house, in Tallahassee, you have to be able to work with each other. So when I hear people say, "Oh, he's a soldier, he's going to go up there and stir problems or cause," that's just somebody that's talking out of ignorance that doesn't understand the concept of a soldier. We do more than shoot bad guys in the face, and at my level of working at the Pacific Theater,
but it's that too. It's that too.
Yeah,
we're good at that too.
I'm not against having somebody taken to the train station, but there's a lot more to us than that,
Right.
And I'm saying when I'm at before I left, in Hawaii, I held 3 international conferences with multiple countries, and I was in charge of the enlisted development for our partner nations. If you don't know how to work with other folks, especially when it comes to international folks, especially when it comes to folks that the humor doesn't translate, you have to know their culture, then you don't know what a senior sergeant or senior NCO or officer does in the military. And so it definitely transfers to politics, and you have to know that.
So you've mentioned it a couple of times, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, Ty. I'd like to hear a little bit about his nonprofit. I know he's kind of alluded to it. We haven't really touched on it. I'd like to hear more about it. When I first met him, that's the first thing we talked about was his nonprofit and what they're doing for the veteran community. And obviously we're a veteran podcast, so I definitely want to make sure we have time to dive into what his nonprofit is, what they do, all that good stuff, right? I got my sticker too. Don't worry, it's on the back of my truck. I'm representing everywhere I drive. I got him.
That's right.
I got him.
But I also want to make that blurb that, I am running for office, but I do also run the nonprofit, and so they are separate. I'm not endorsed by either or. We cannot do that. But now talking and transferring to the nonprofit section, so I run Defenders of Freedom Florida. It's a chapter off Defenders of Freedom run by Donna Cranston in Capel, Texas. And what we do are 3 things. Our primary focus is to help veterans combat veteran suicide. And our focus that we do that on is through our traumatic brain injury clinic. So Resiliency Brain Health is a 2-week, $15,000 traumatic brain injury clinic that the veteran pays 0 out of pocket. The flight there, the hotel stay, the treatment is all done through donations and sponsors. We've sent 17 veterans from the local Panhandle since I opened in 2020. And I know some people say 17 doesn't sound like a lot in 4 years, but when you look at 15 grand a pop, 10 to 15 grand a pop, depending on the treatment level, that's just under 200,000. That's a lot, especially starting during COVID.
Yeah.
The second thing that we do is we put on morale building events throughout the year. We've had concerts with some good bands. We've had guest speakers and dinners. We have a partnership with a group off of Discovery Channel. If you ever seen Naked and Afraid,
love that show.
I've got about 3 guys I served with that have been on the show. EJ Snyder is a legend on the show. He's a good buddy of mine. They came out 3 years ago and put on a demonstration for the veterans, and now it's grown. They have their own nonprofit run by Matt Garland and Barebone Bushcraft. And what they do is they come out once a year. We use the scout camp out in the Funiac, and they do primitive fire, water, shelter, traps and trapping techniques. And then they teach it, and then the veterans get to go out and do it with their family, with their friends. And just to give you an example of what that does, some people are like, what does that have to do with veterans? We had a 7th group guy that we had sent to brain treatment come out to that one year. And when he left, he was like, I thought I didn't want to be around veterans anymore. But today while I was here, I realized, man, these are my people. I need to do this more often. And then we had another guy, if you think round robin, right? So these survivors were teaching these classes, and they were rotating every hour. And one guy was there with his 2 kids that were both under 10 years old. And when they got ready to transfer, he said, "Can I stay and work on this shelter? My kids are really having a lot of fun." And we were like, "Hey, this time is for you, brother. If that's what you want to do, stay there." They stayed and built that shelter for 5 hours. And when he left, he's like, "I'll be back every year." And that was the most quality time I've spent with my kids in the last several years. So those are action points and actionables for us. That's what I say. We don't put on any event. We don't do anything for show. If it's not going to be impactful or meaningful to somebody, then we don't do it anymore. And so we try to do those things. We did Night at the Wahoos earlier this year. We took out 30 veterans and the families. 5 of the veterans got to go down. 3 of them actually picked their sons to go with them down to the plate, and they threw the first pitch of the game. Again, and what those does, it interacts community with our veterans. And when they come together, the veterans see the community still cares. The community see who the veterans are and what they can do and capable of. And sometimes it's networking. They find jobs, they find meaning, or, "Hey, could I use you for this?" Or, "I need volunteers for my kids' youth thing." And they realize, the connections can be made there. And so that's where our collaboration versus competition has come in. I work, I'm also on the board with Healing Hoof Steps. They do equine therapy out in Crestview, Healing Tools for Warriors, Winkler's Wish, several of those entities that I work with, that we all come together, and they've got it. The point's catching on to more and more nonprofits. And if we do that versus fight for monies, we fight for pockets, or we only go to these events, then we're failing. And I tell them, even for us, for Defenders of Freedom, if we were the answer, if we had the solution, then we have $1 million in our bank and a line out the door. It's a way, right? It's a treatment. And if you go through ours, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go through others. I tell them, sorry if I took too long on that explanation.
No.
We want to hear this. Keep going.
I tell them it's like a rifle, right? Or a kit bag. So back in the old days, you might've got an M4 or a carbine and you went off to war and that's it. But as we've gotten smarter, they hand you the M4. You go out and you shoot with iron sights, and you got the basics and you learn. Okay, but you're not done then. Then you get an optic. Then you qualify with the optic. Then you get a tack light. You're doing optics and infrared and night fire. You add all those things so your gun is equipped. Same as your kit bag. That's how veteran use should be as well. Is you don't go to one program. You go to every freaking program you can, because there's something in each one of them that's a deliverable. Even if you go to one TBI thing, there's another area out here, home base. They do TBI. They were surprised to see that we'd work with them, because I'm like, why would we not? Just because somebody went to our program doesn't mean they can't benefit from yours as well. And so I think when you put ego, pride, there's some that still have rank involved. It's funny for me to be on this show because it's the first time in years, probably since 2017, other than in a military function, that somebody's called me Sergeant Major, just because I always tell people is, that's what I did when I was in the military, and that's what I was for that position, but that doesn't define me or who I am. And when I left the military, like, unless they're joking or somebody's, saying something joking, me like, "Hey, Sergeant Major," they don't call me that because it's what you do now that matters, right? That was good for them. But now the truth is nobody gives a shit what you did. What can you do now, or what can you do for them now? And so that's why I tell folks, you need to stay relevant. And if you have to have your name and your rank or your title thrown around all the time, then you can't really stand on your own accord, and so that's important to me. Other than shows like this, nobody, like I said, nobody calls me Sergeant Major. There's not a rank out here. I could pick up trash like the next guy, or I could lead a class, whatever you need me to do. That's what leaders do. And if we all got that together, we'd help a lot more veterans. No veteran comes to me and has to look up to me. And I tell them, me helping them is my therapy. They're doing as much for me as when I send them, because it gives me relevance back in my life, and it lets me use the leadership that I have. And that's what I try to capture from all of us veterans is we have so much leadership amongst us. If we would, just because we're retired, it's not gone. If we find a way to resource that and use that, man, we could fix and solve a lot of not only our own veteran problems, but community problems.
Man, if everybody thought like you, this world would be a much better place than what it is. Not saying that it's a bad place now, but it can always be even better. But, when people are able to articulate and use their mind, and like you said, you have these skill sets, what you were. It's not what you've done, even though what you've done has gotten you to the point that you are, but it's what you continue to do that keeps you relevant, man. That was some strong stuff that you said right there, man. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think we all need that. I was talking to somebody the other day, not to get off topic, but Gene Valentino is running for Congress. He's one of the guys I support. And one of the guys that was at his rally the other day had said that. It was like, I feel like I retired. It's no use no more. I'm like, what? Why would you think that? Like, you have 20, he had more years in the military than I did. He was a Navy guy. But why would you think that? Like, you just need to find a place to capture that, and I think that if more volunteer guys showed up, if more guys, another thing is you have to be willing, and I'm one of those, yes, I was an E9, but there's way more guys that have way more experience than me, both that outrank me or they're under my rank. I don't know what the right word is for that, but that didn't outrank me in the military. I've got a great buddy, Neil Sanders. He runs Bet CV. The same thing. When he got out, we were talking about the other day, he was an E3, Lance Corporal or whatever. He was a corpsman. I'm like, so if you use title or rank to say, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce this special guest, and you said, Lance Corporal, or in the Army, if you said PFC Wells, you just see people kind of go, But that's the problem, is sometimes that PFC or that E3, he may be the subject matter expert. And that is one thing I'll say, as I was leaving the military, we're getting better of is who's the SME. And I had a colonel one time that got upset that a captain had came in and was briefing him. And he's like, where's the colonel he was a colonel. The captain was coming in to brief him, but the E5 was the subject matter expert on the intel. And he's like, why is this E5 briefing me? Go get your captain. And the captain came in, and that's what he said. He was like, sir, I can brief you if you want, but I'm just letting you know I'm regurgitating what he's filled out in his report. So you'd be better to hear it directly from him so you can get questions. And that hasn't happened in a long time in the old Army or military in general. Like, the rank made you the expert. We've gotten smarter. Just because you're an E9, there's a lot of E6, E7, whatever out there that know a shit ton more than I do. That's what you got to capture. When you make people empowered, you'll find out real quick how much they know, or they'll share it.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, boot camp SMEs. You know what I'm saying?
That Spec 4 Mafia used to run shit.
Hey, shout out to the E4 Mafia in this motherfucker. Right. We love y'all. Hey, right. I learned a whole lot from some young bucks, so I feel you. It looks like it's getting warm. I know it was cold today, but it looks like it's about to get warm. I don't know.
Are you back? Can we hear you, Matt? You good?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sounding good.
I had to go find my fucking comm guy.
That's what I say. I think you found out.
He was frozen down the street.
They're afraid of Matt. They won't. Every time he gets on there.
Yeah.
It's called karma. All that shit you talked about, Al's internet. Look at you, bro. You all frozen up, couldn't talk.
No, I think I think your campaign manager was like, "Fuck that guy. He's talking shit." So they turned it off.
You were going like this, then all of a sudden you start talking mess. They didn't like me. Look, Navy talk, the machine gun. They're like.
Yeah, so when you can only go anywhere but down when you reach the top. So that's where I've been lately. Like, but now I feel like I'm in the bottom of the barrel and I can't even see light at the top,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
crazy.
Here with you, brother.
When Al's talking shit to me, the world is in disarray, 100%. Especially when we're talking about technology.
Yeah. Or if Al stops talking shit, we need to worry.
That's true. Y'all better send some. Y'all better send help. Y'all better call Jamie. He can knock on the door and check on me. If I start talking shit, y'all better check on me for real.
No.
Well, as far as we've gone, like we've talked about your military career, we've talked about your nonprofit, we've talked about your political run. One quick question about the political stuff. How many people are going to be running against you? How many people are in the race?
Yep. So right now there's 5. There could potentially be a few more because they haven't officially announced it yet. Some people wait until the announcement. That way they don't get their name out there yet. People aren't, looking at their information, trying to find whatever dirt they can.
They dug that dirt yet.
Yeah. For me,
give me their names. I'll find the dirt. Give me their names.
Yeah. For me, I've always just been a kind of out there guy. My stuff's on social media. I'm not well hidden. I did have a laugh the other day. Somebody had told me, like, they hope they don't find out that I'm part of the establishment, or they would come for me. And I was like, man, if anybody knew me versus anybody, I'm as far from what anybody would consider an establishment guy as you could get. But yeah, I'm just open. I'm real. The thing about me at the end of the day is I'm real and I'm authentic. And I think that's what resonates with the people is, I do silly stuff sometimes and I make jokes and I pose or do something funny for my kids to make them laugh. Cause I've got 6 kids that think I'm silly, and it lets other folks in the community know it's okay. Like I don't take myself so seriously that I can't laugh at myself. And if you do, then you shouldn't be in office, or you shouldn't be anywhere in charge, because nothing in life is that serious. I mean, back when you're talking about, military or my political stuff is, I made life and death decisions, and some of those decisions are split decision and could have mattered in a catastrophic amount of life and death. And so anything I deal with now after that, if they're not firing at me and shooting, then it's not that important. And that's how I think it goes, is if you take yourself too seriously, then people won't resonate with you.
Very nice.
If you got a problem with that, you can suck my balls from the back. I just want to throw that out there. If you don't like Jamie Wells,
that won't be a campaign.
That should be your campaign slogan from the back.
Say it again.
That's his tagline.
If you don't like Jamie Wells, you can suck my dick from the back.
You said balls.
You said balls.
Oh, my bad. Balls.
Hey, take that out. Hey, Jamie, X that out. Yeah, we didn't need that.
Oh, my bad. Balls.
Trust me.
Hot mic.
Somebody will use that. It'll be my voice dubbed.
Right.
Dubbed Al.
Right.
I don't know. With AI, that might make it your voice.
Yeah.
Oh, AI is terrifying. They're gonna have Jamie butt naked out in the snow with a rebel flag, looking crazy as hell.
Yeah. Well, I was doing snow angels out there earlier today, so they can find that on my website.
Well, then it's about time then. If you were doing snow angels cold, you got to get you heated up. It's time to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you got to be real, and people see through it. And on the campaigns, the same thing that I tell them is, you also have to look at the people. You do want them going and making the right decisions for you in Tallahassee, but the rest of the job is back here and engaged with the community. And you have to look at each of us and say, who would I enjoy having dinner with, or who could I see, sitting down with me breaking bread? If it's not that person, then that's probably not your guy. There are 5 folks on the list right now that are running. I wish them all the best of luck, but I'm only got my mission on one thing, and that's taking that seat in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it sucks to be second place, y'all. Just saying, sucks to be second place.
And the only thing I can relate to that most of you can in the military is, normally when you used to go to those parties or events, and someone has to name drop, right, or someone has to tell you all the people they know that got them to that party, then that's because they can't stand on their own accord, or they have a confidence issue, right? And so I tell folks, right? Am I right? I mean, have you seen that?
Right. Very much so.
I know Colonel so-and-so. I know Sergeant so-and-so, and that's great. I used to say at those parties, it took me longer to get there sometimes, but I still ended up at the same parties. But I could look at myself in the mirror because I know I got it on my own accord. You won't see me throw a lot of big names out there behind me, because the people are my endorsement, and I think when you come out of the gun blazing a bunch of endorsements, that makes people ask, are you their guy or their guy? So that you
need everybody out there talking about you, right?
Here's what I want to know.
You don't need to talk about everybody else.
Are we going to put him on this hot seat, or are we going to keep fucking around? I'm ready to light his ass up.
All right, let's put him on the DJ Royalty hot seat.
I'm ready to burn his ass up. Let's burn him up. Let's heat his ass up.
Here we go.
Look here. What's going on, Jamie?
All right,
brother. This is the official DJ Royalty hot seat, and you are officially in it now. Music is on. The flames are going. I'm going to ask you about 10 questions. There's no right or wrong answer, but it is a right or wrong answer because it's your answer. All right? The only thing I ask is that you answer these questions as honestly and truthful as you can, and then we'll just go from there. We'll see how everything turns out. We good?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it in. All right. I need to know, what are 5 things that really piss you off?
Arrogance, entitlement, people that think everything should be free, right? Disrespect, whether that's a kid to an adult or an adult on another adult. And minimalizing or bullying. I hate that.
Gotcha. All right. Who had the biggest influence over you in your life?
In my life, it would definitely be my mother.
And why you say that?
she's always been there. She was iron. She's my ride or die. When I was young, sometimes I was mischievous, and she was always there for me. She always had, tough love. She wasn't a buttercup, and she probably gave me harder training than any military experience I've ever experienced. But the bottom line was she showed up and she was there. She could have stepped down or been absent many times in my life, and she wasn't. So for that, she's my hero through and through.
There you go. Shouts out to moms. Mom Dukes for the win. All right. If you could be reincarnated and come back as anybody from anywhere, who would you come back as and why?
Ooh, that's
anybody.
a good one.
Nothing's off the list.
Yeah. It's like crazy, but the first one came to my mind was Shaka Zulu. I remember when I was a kid watching him and that feat. I mean, that kind of warfare and having that kind of bravery. I don't know how that came to my mind, but that was one of them.
Shaka Zulu was a bad dude.
Yeah, I used to watch that every year.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out. Way back, I was a kid too. When it came out, I was like, dang, that dude was, jeez. Yeah, I can see that. Shaka Zulu was a warrior. Okay. All right. When was the last time that you actually cried and why?
So full cried or like tear cried?
Full cried. Not tear from a movie.
Yeah. Full cried.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it may be the vast memory that I have is when he had already left our command. He was in a secondary command, but Captain McKinnon, company commander of ours, he had just left command. He went over to help another unit over in Iraq, and he got hit by an EFP, and they called and said, "Hey, bring these guys to the hospital to see him. He's going to be gone." And that was probably the last full cry, like breakdown. Didn't matter. I was in uniform. I was devastated. That was a hard loss.
Absolutely. I think we're going to touch on that one a little bit in another question I have for you. All right. So my mom always told me, son, you either stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. What do you stand for, and why is that important to you?
Yep. So I stand for the little people, and I always have. My mom used to say, "You're not Superman. You're not everybody's hero." But I've always in my whole life felt like those that are the underdog or those that get mistreated, that's my job. Or when somebody has that influence to be able to do it, you stand up for them. So I do that because I think it's the right thing to do, and I want my kids and people around me to know that's what I'm known for. That's what I did, looking out for the little guy.
There you go. The protector. I like that. All right.
My mom used to hate it when I was little, though. We get in fights in school or whatever. It's just why'd you take up for that person? You're not everybody's hero.
Yeah.
So later in the military, they put medals and ribbons on my chest, so it paid off.
There you go. Natural born hero. All right, here you go. Would you rather go 3 rounds with Mike Tyson or 6 rounds with Muhammad Ali? And why?
6 rounds with Muhammad Ali. One, just because he's a showman, and he'd make it. He'd put a beating on me, but he'd make it fun. Tyson would just come in and crush your ass. I wouldn't get to enjoy it. At least with Muhammad Ali, I could brag later. I could enjoy it. Tyson, you ain't bragging about nothing. You just lights out.
There you go. You can dance with the big guy. All right, I see it. Here's one of my questions. Probably now it's one of my favorites. The mirror question. Here you are, Jamie. You find yourself butt naked in front of a full long mirror. Name one thing that you would like to make bigger and one thing that you would like to make smaller.
Definitely my belly. Now that I've gotten older, would make smaller.
Okay.
If I was looking in the mirror, I guess I'd have to say my chest a little bit bigger. I need to work out more.
All right. So in with the belly, out with the chest.
Yes.
All right, I see you. Okay. Now we're gonna go back a little bit, maybe to a question earlier, just kind of renaissance of it.
Yeah.
But this question is important for me. Name for me a battle buddy that you had that is no longer with us. I need to know his name and what do you remember about that person?
Yep, that's easy. We just talked about it. Captain Michael McKinnon. He was a cut. We use the word hero and true leaders. I think it gets watered down. But Captain Mike McKinnon was one of those guys that was a hero that I got goosebumps. But he was somebody that everybody looked up to. But he wasn't like every other officer. I'll give you an example. We won the sports day one time while we were in Iraq. They had all the battalion lined up, and they were giving out the awards for the different things. And we'd won the football and the overall, whatever. And most, officers are, at least when they're around their other officers or in a public forum, they have that etiquette that they have to follow. And McKinnon wasn't. He got our guidon. He ran up and down the guidon across the battalion formation. He was like, "That's right. You see that? Bravo Company, motherfuckers." And I was like, he was just, and all the guys loved him because that's how he was. I mean, but also he was a shit talker, but he could back it up. And I give you examples. Yeah. Somebody ran a 6:30 mile or 11:50 2-miler, and they'd be talking shit, and he'd say, "Let's do it," and he'd go out and beat it. So he could do it, and he could back it up. Now I do have one funny story for him. Since he's gone, I can embarrass him now. I had to write a memo one time for the division commander. We were doing some, we were testing some new equipment we were going to get for the division, and I needed the commander's signature on it. So I put Michael H.C. McKinnon, and I put that in front of the base commander, and he sent it back approved. And when I came back to the company, Captain McKinnon said, "My middle name's not H.C." And I said, "No, sir, that's your initials." He's like, "What does that stand for?" And I said, "Horsecock, sir," because and he blushed and he said, "Oh my God, you son of a bitch, you did not." I said, "Yeah," and the base commander already signed off on it. So after that, we joked until his passing, we'd say Michael H.C. McKinnon.
Wow.
But his men loved him. And like I said, it was just one of those bad news stories. He had finished his command. He could have went home. They were having trouble in another unit, National Guard unit that was attached to us. They asked him to go over there and clean it up. And while I was over there, they're doing a school drop one day, toys and school supplies, and they hit him with an EFP on the way home. So totally devastated. He had 2 small children, one with some severe, handicap issues that he was working with. They took care of his family, luckily, through West Point. But just to lose a leader like that so young, and he was just one of those guys that could talk it and back it up. And so when we use the word like hero, there's very few guys that I've ever known that fit that bill, and he was one of them.
Well, it's very important that we acknowledge him, Captain Michael McKinnon, because, even though he's gone, he's still here because you having those stories and you being able to light up when you talk about him keeps him alive. Right. And it's important that we keep our heroes and our legends alive. And we do that by mentioning their names and talking about them whenever possible. And I want to say to his family, my condolences to your family. I know it's a great loss. I know it's great pain, but he's going to live on forever because he has put a mark on Jamie Wells. And as long as we're able to keep your name out there and say it, it stays alive. So my thoughts and prayers are out to the family, but I'd like to thank you, Jamie, for sharing that with us because Michael McKinnon needs to be celebrated. All right. Thank you for that. All right, we're not done, but I like the way that seat got warm right there. I like that. It's very important. All right, well, this or that question for me. All right. This is you now. You can forgive somebody for blank, but you will never forgive somebody for blank. I need you to fill in the blanks for me.
Yeah, I could forgive somebody. I could give somebody for lying. If they come clean, but it's hard for me to forgive somebody if they disrespect me. The disrespect holds high to me. So yeah, if you go out your way to disrespect me, it's probably going to be a long shot that we ever tie back up.
I like that. All right, here we go. Boys in the room are waiting. and I can't tell. Normally, I can get a climate on where this is going to go. Yeah. And excuse me if I cuss out loud at the end of this, but it just happens. It just hits me sometimes. But I need to know your opinion. I think your smile is going to give it away for me, but I can't be sure. In your opinion, who is better all time? Is it Michael Jordan? Not Michael Jordan, I'm sorry. Michael Jackson or Prince, and why?
I would have to say Prince.
God damn it, I was so close, man.
I mean, Prince and them are both kind of wild, but I never heard any story about Prince and kids, so I gotta go with Prince.
You say,
now, in that defense, to save you though, my mom would tell you if she would, if you were to talk to her when I was in middle school. Well, I was probably in elementary school, but I had the jacket from Thriller and I had the gloves, so I was a supporter of them. But as I was older, I'm saying some of them stories I don't know were true, but I had the Thriller CD and the jacket and the gloves. So at one time I was a Jackson.
So did you ever have the chaps with the booty cheeks cut out?
I did not have that.
You did not have. Did you ever have the purple lace jacket with the lace vest?
I did not.
Did you ever have the high heel boots?
No, I did not.
But you had the Michael Jackson jacket.
I did, and I moonwalked.
You had the glove, and you moonwalked. But you still going to give the legendary award to Prince?
It come down to kids, man.
Answered. He's answered. Let's move on. This is like we're doing like a political. He's answered the question.
All right.
Let's move on.
Okay, we'll move on for purpose.
It's all about the kids.
So I did not know where this was going to go. Well, I'll give you another 50-50.
Just want your hand to time, yo. Papa's got a brand new bag.
Man, Michael Jackson got a long way to go, man. I'm not. Goodness gracious. Matt, I know you had something to do with this. Style and Matt are doing something with these guests. You're probably getting this beforehand. No?
I was just going to tell you that I was going to object to badgering the witness. They give an answer. It is what it is, man. You got to let it go. But, listen, people watch and they know the question's coming, right? They watch, they know the question's coming. We don't have to prep anybody for that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's preference. Do you listen to both the music? Of course we do. But,
Sustained.
Yeah. All right, I'll ask this last question. Well, question before the last question. And I'm out of gas. My energy level is so low. But I'm okay. I'm going to get back. Let me shake it off. I'm all right. Come on. Here you go. Navy cheap, Navy proud. We back. All right, here we go. In your opinion, who's the GOAT? Is it LeBron James or is it Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan, hands down.
Man, he didn't even let me get it out. Why?
One, I grew up watching him, and I seen him play hurt. I seen him play his heart out when he was down, when he was out. He was for the team. He wasn't always by himself. LeBron and whine and complaining all the time. When you got to tell somebody you're the GOAT, then you're not normally the GOAT. I don't remember when I was younger hearing Michael Jordan claiming I'm the GOAT.
All right, that's fair. Level of disrespect on this podcast is unnecessary. All right. Last question. It's kind of a question, but it's more so opinion. It's more so a feeling. I don't know how many podcasts you've been on in your time. Maybe a lot, maybe none, maybe some. But in your opinion, what do you rate the Triple Threat Vet podcast and why? What could we do to be better?
I've had a great time with you all. I've been on the Monica Sanford podcast. She's a great and phenomenal lady. So I would say that you guys are definitely, on plateau or peer with her. She's a good friend of mine as well. But no, this has been great. Put you in the comfort zone, but also can ask you some questions that could go one another way. And it's a highlight for me regardless. So I'm happy with here. Maybe not asking the Michael Jackson question. Other than that, I think you guys are running it spot on, and you're definitely giving the platform for folks to talk. So I definitely hats off to you guys about that. A lot of times you get on and it's 80% them and 85 and 15% you. I feel even that sometimes I've taken more than my time, and you guys have rolled with it. So I appreciate it. That's true professionals to me.
Well, see, the thing is, we're here to highlight you. We want to know about you. The world's heard us every week, but we're going on this is our second year now. So they're probably tired of hearing our voice. We wanted to hear about you and the successful things that you're doing. I wish you well in your run. I'm sure you're going to do well. You have my vote. I was able to vote in Florida, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You would have mine.
That's what I tell folks. If you're not in District 3, you can't vote, but they can share the word to folks and they can donate.
Well, you got my thumbs up for sure.
Yes,
I appreciate you, man. But you're officially out of the hot seat, and I'm gonna bring the fellas back in so we can do what we do.
All right,
Mike. I'm still trying. Mike is gone. I got to say his name and keep him alive. But I'm trying to keep Mike alive. But it's getting rough out here. It's getting rough in these trenches out here for Mike. Oh my goodness! I don't know why, man. I'm trying, man.
I guess
Matt loves it.
Does it suck to be on the losing end 80% of the time? I'm just asking.
I'm not, man. I mean, I just the thing of it is that really is because you guys are saying I'm trying to say that I'm swaying together. But everything that they say says Michael Jackson, but then they just go Prince.
Listen, you love who you love so much. I could tell you Prince is the best ever. I've seen Michael Jackson videos. What, you watched his videos? Did you watch Prince's videos? You'll find it, but here, when you're that close to it, sometimes you just gotta accept that
he said he had the
like
jacket.
Other stuff.
He said he had the jacket and the glove, and he did the moonwalk.
Awesome.
We might need to retire to Prince Michael Jackson.
Never. That is.
No, we need to keep that one going, bro.
Permanent segment. It is not going away.
Yeah.
Listen, he doesn't fit the crime.
You want the truth here? Check this out. Here's the deal. I could give a shit, honestly. They're both great. I like them both. You could choose one or the other on any given day. I just love when someone says Prince and I hear God damn, dude, it's great. I love it. It's great. And then when you hear someone say Michael Jackson and you're like, oh shit, I knew he was my best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's good. But that's the thing. Like I think the hardest thing about that question is they both were so popular at the same time. Yeah. It's a different feel than the Michael Jordan, LeBron question because they played in different eras. When you're looking at Michael Jackson and Prince, like you're really comparing two people that you listen to at the same time. So that's like a way more relevant comparison than even, like the Jordan and LeBron James. You know what I mean?
And I think the trick to that question. So if he wants more folks to say Michael, then I think the trick
cut this. Tell your campaign manager to cut this.
Yeah, but I think the secret is to say, at that age, who was your favorite? Because if you'd asked me that when I was in elementary or middle school when they were popular, hands down been Michael Jackson. It's because now I'm older and I'm a father and you hear all the kids stuff. I'm saying that scraps it for me. But that's the cue to that question is if you ask at that age.
Thanks, Jamie.
So see, that's the thing, though, right? Because the question is not about what they, their background or who they were or all that. I'm just saying.
But as an adult, you think that it's subliminal. It's in there. So.
Yeah, but you lead it off like this, Brett. It's in your opinion. That's where it goes downhill.
Yeah.
Right. That's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. That's where it ends up. Because
you swapped me, you got me back over to Michael, but I was with Jamie. I was like, the reason I didn't want to go for Michael is because I was like, I'm a dad, and I was like, but then when you started talking about like the catalog and what songs do I have on my playlist more so. Of course, it's Michael. Like I jammed some Michael the other day. I didn't jam no Prince.
Yeah,
outside of Purple Rain.
And I told you guys, bro. Listen, if you want to go out and have a good time at the club, you're gonna listen to Michael Jackson. But when the night's over and it's time to get down to business, you ain't playing Michael Jackson.
It's like R. Kelly.
Prince either.
Hey, it's like R. Kelly. I still like.
Who are you gonna play first? That's the question. It's time to get it going. Who you playing on the playlist? Prince or Michael Jackson?
I'm not playing.
Probably depends on if you're single.
No, you have to answer the question.
There you go.
Huh?
If you're single, probably Michael. If you're married,
Yeah.
if you've got a girl, it's probably
Yeah. I'm playing.
I mean, if
Just
you're
Beat It
single
on
and
repeat.
your favorite songs beat it, then I get
that's
it. But
right.
you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
playing
come
Just
on,
Beat
dude.
It on repeat. It's going on like 4 hours of Just Beat It.
yeah.
Just Beat It.
4 hours.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
going down.
gosh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's going
Man,
down.
that's commitment right there, bro.
My
Commitment.
hat's off to you right there. 4 hours.
Yeah.
You got it. You
Get you a
got
strong. You might get a strong 4 minutes. You
Yeah.
know,
4
oh, that
minutes.
song, if that song goes longer than 4 minutes and 29 seconds, it's a wrap for this old boy.
All right,
It's
all
over.
right, all right, all right. Let's get back to the talk. Hey, I like I said, I'm going to call you Sergeant Major this because that's just how I am. I'm indoctrinated into this military thing.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed your time, Sergeant Major. I enjoy hearing your story about your military service. I really loved hearing about your nonprofit, Defenders of Freedom Florida, and I really wish you well in the upcoming race for District 3. I hope you win. I hope you make some change, and I really like what you said about career politicians. I myself, I don't want to be a candidate, but I've always wanted to get in political advisement and being a political advisor. So good on you. If when we come visit Albert, hopefully I'll see you in office next time we come to Pensacola.
Absolutely. And if I just give a shout out, if that's the end of the session, two military folks that have become both godfathers to my parents and to my kids, and have been mentors my whole career. Sergeant Major retired Mark Barnes and both Command Sergeant Major Mark Barnes, who we were first sergeants and platoon sergeants through sergeant majors together, and Martina Angulu. Those two guys. The neat thing about Sergeant Major Angulu is we were E1 through E4s together, and then later I came back to the same company that we were privates in, and he was the first sergeant, and I got to replace him as he signed out. So two privates went back to the same company. Both took over the same company as the first sergeants, and we've grown up through our whole careers together. So those two guys were impactful, and without those two guys in my leadership tool bag, it would have been hard to get where I was at.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Sergeant Major, that's what we aim to do with this podcast. Like Scott said, we started this about a little over a year and a half ago, and we've met a very big slice of people from. I don't think we've had Air Force people on here. We've had Marines, we have Army, definitely some Navy. I don't think we've had any Coast Guard or Space Force, but I like what you said. If you get a veteran in there, a veteran is Semper Gumby so much that I think it's important for veterans to get out there and make some change that they may see, because veterans have a platform. Most of them that are in the GWAT have seen the world. And they know what goes on with foreign policy. They understand what goes on with logistics. They understand how to make things happen. There's just a lot of things that veterans bring to the table that thank you for translating that for the civilians out there. So appreciate you very much, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your time. Great show. If you ever need other folks to be on it, let me know. I would recommend you guys anytime.
Bring them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know anybody in the Space Force? Please bring them. I just want.
Yeah, that one I don't. I know a few Coast Guards guys.
Nerds are welcome, and so are the Puddle Pirates. If any of you Coast and Puddle Pirates out there, feel free, give us a ring. Any of you nerds in the Space Force, count ones and zeros, give us a shout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I should give this disclaimer. Anything mentioned by Al Hero, our nuclear option, does not reflect directly upon Sergeant Major Wells, nor his candidacy in District 3 in Florida.
Hey, look at that, dude. That came in clear as day.
Yeah. And the from the back statement was all Al Hero, had nothing to do with Jamie Wells.
That was Al Hero.
All out.
Matter of fact, that's going to be his HR disclaimer video. If you do this, then that is inappropriate.
Right.
All right, Sergeant Major. We will catch up with you soon. We look forward. We'll keep in touch with you. Let us know how everything goes. Okay.
You got it. Thank you all, fellas. I appreciate it. First class all the way.
All right.
Thank you.
Airborne.
Yeah.
How about that? That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Have we had any Air Force dudes on? You said that, but
yeah, Ed McClain was Air Force, wasn't he? The
guy that races the cars.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when I said it, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, I was trying to go back through the Rolodeck.
No, I don't think we have.
Yeah, Ed McClain was
We
there.
haven't had any Space Force.
Listen, though, if you're going to be on here and you were in the Space Force, I need to know that you know what space looks like. There's a reason they call it the Space Force. If you've never been in space, I'm not interested. I don't want to know. I don't want to know theory. I want to know.
You're gonna get a bunch of Trekkies cussing us out on. We're gonna get all kind of Trekkie comments on our messages.
All publicity is good publicity.
You guys called us nerds, Mom. They called us nerds.
Yeah, right. They still live with their mom in the. Come on, dude. For real, move out.
Shut up.
Move
virgins.
out.
Yeah.
All right, some future guests we got coming up next week. We got part 1.5 of Marvin Lockett,
Yes.
Army, military, police, veteran, nonprofit, motivational speaker. I actually not deployed, but I was with this guy at Fort Campbell, and this is called right here the Modicum stick, and he actually signed this way back in 2003. Yeah, it's from the back.
Scott's got one of those in his
Got one of
pants.
those.
Mine's
Hang
not
on the wall, though.
attached, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, listen. What's the name of that stick again?
Yeah,
It's the Modicum stick. I'll tell the story next week. Modicum. Yeah, and okay, I'll preempt the story now.
That's the difference. Mine is a more dickum stick.
Yeah, Modicum.
You have a more.
Mine's Modicum.
No, he said it appropriate. That was the
Modicum
Urban
stick.
Dictionary definition. So if he was at spelling bee, I'd be like, could you please use it in a sentence? I got the Modicum stick for you. You know? Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you,
If you
everyone
fuck up,
that
you get
that
Mo
served with me everyone that served with me at Fort Campbell knew about the Modicum stick.
Yeah, that sounds like some shit at the
People, I mean,
Oh my
officers,
God. Yeah, it does.
enlisted,
Modicum.
peer subordinates, my superiors, they all said Modicum to me when they came up because they knew what it was about. So, Modicum, baby. Hey, ain't lying. I'm for real.
Scott said
Sergeant
that's a
Cobb.
P. Diddy.
Yeah,
Scott said that's a
Private
P.
hero
Diddy
needs
party.
Modicum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's some shit we did. Oh yeah. You didn't get enough dick. Oh, hey, get him more dick 'em.
I can't wait. I got it. See, listen, now I'm like, I'm picturing what this story is going to be like next week about this stick. And I'm like, dude, it better be as good as it's in my brain right now.
Well, I mean, there's actually the story of the sticks is a big deal. But, I mean, the story of how we came across the word, it's pretty funny.
Solid.
This is
Can't wait
over.
till next week.
I'm about to go get my
So
boy.
funny, dude. So funny.
Hey, that's gonna be my new rap name, bro. I'm gonna be a rapper named Mo Dick.
And I've been Modicum since 2001. So you can't.
DJ Mo Dickum.
All right, so the politics. If you're in state representative in District 3 there in Florida, this is Jamie Wells. VoteForJamieWells.com. Just had him on, and this is some of the things that he was talking about there. And then sports. All right.
Hey, fuck! I won. I don't care what nobody says. I won.
I cut the game off
No,
at halftime. I was
no,
such a tie. I was
we
like,
tied,
Rob Bean,
bro.
stop
No, we
watching.
didn't tie.
Yeah, we did.
We tied on the number. It's okay to go 14-14 or whatever, but at the end of the day, my
Whatever.
team won. I won that.
That's not your
Bro,
team.
That one, hey,
Colorado watched that shit from the house.
Hey,
I
man,
really feel like
it got
Colorado.
down to the
I
end.
feel like Colorado, Georgia, Kentucky, anybody would have put up a better game, bro. Outside of that
Hold
first
on.
drive, that was horrible.
Hold on.
Anybody would have. Put
You
up a better
turned the game off at halftime.
Yeah, I heard that.
Bro,
Did
it
you
was over.
watch the second half?
The defense played a little better, but outside
What do you
of
mean?
that, bro,
Like, dude, they
Dude.
lost by one score.
no,
like,
Ty
they
said it
came
was
back.
28-7. I didn't even watch anymore.
Yeah, we know
once
you
it was-
didn't.
Once it was 28-7, I was like, what
Bro,
else?
what
is on
was the
TV?
final score of the game?
They lost by 8.
Fuck it.
34-23.
34-23. And they scored the field goal super late, but Notre Dame held Ohio State to 6 points in the second half. So if they could have got off of their ass a little bit earlier in the game, it could have been much different. So
Ohio,
that moment, I think, was too big for those boys at Notre Dame. That's all.
I
it
don't
was.
know. I think Ohio State in the playoffs just played lights out. I mean, they really did. If
their
you go back,
defense is too strong.
True. Very true.
dude, they played lights out all playoff season. I mean, if they
Yeah.
played like that all season, they'd have been undamn defeated. Nobody would have even. They'd have been like,
For
"Oh,
sure.
just give them the trophy." I mean, they played that good. I mean, they didn't make mistakes. I was like, damn,
Yeah, they made a couple.
I was
And
hurt
then once
because my boy Jeff.
the problem is when you get up by that many points in a game that big, then people stop playing as hard as they were. And I think that it was like, okay, we're up, this is over. And then that's when the boys came back and scored some points on them and kind of wake them back up and be like, all right, y'all need to lock back in because you guys aren't locked in anymore. But that's the only thing that happened. I think it was inevitable that Ohio was going to win that game by the end of the second quarter. It is what it is. Notre Dame was. I'm can't take anything away from them.
Yeah.
Them guys played their ass off all year.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I was going to ride with them the whole way through, but then, anything other than the fact that I just thought Ohio State was too strong, I would have went with Notre Dame all the way through. Only because one, Al's boy was on there, and you got to go with him.
I appreciate that.
We in the competition part of it, and I was like, when I saw Ohio State play Texas, and I saw that goal line defense that they had, I was like, bro, these guys are I've never seen a college team's goal.
But what was crazy is in the first half, that first
they
drive, they
right
blew
away.
through that defense.
Right.
So I was like, this is going to be pretty good. And then they took a shit until halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was funny. A whole bunch of people were like, oh, I guess you're not going to keep putting Notre Dame in there. They're not good. Like, what are you talking about, bro? They made the playoff and they beat 3 other teams. And half of these people that were talking that shit, I was like, the
everybody
team you
was
root
talking
for
shit about Ohio
can't
State
even
and Notre
spell
Dame.
bowl game, bro.
Everybody was saying, oh, they shouldn't be there, the 12-man playoff. Yeah, these teams had to win to get there. Like, it's better. If it wasn't for the 12-team playoff, you'd have had another fucking, Georgia versus whoever, or
not really, because
Alabama versus whoever, or I mean, you wouldn't have had.
Yeah, but Notre Dame finished in the top 4. The only reason they weren't in the top 4 is because you got to let the conference champions were the highest ranked. But Notre Dame would have been in the Final Four this year if it would have still been.
You would have had an Arizona State, Ohio State type game, it would have been weird, or it'd have been Oregon versus whoever. It just really wouldn't. I like the 12-game playoff because you have to earn your way.
I mean, but from that second round. The second and third round, every game was good, man. That game,
you would have.
It turned out a lot better than it would what it shows.
Well, yeah, looking at your rankings, you would have had at the end of the season, you would have had Georgia versus Oregon.
Oregon, right?
I mean,
you would have had Oregon versus Arizona State, and then Georgia against Boise State.
Yes.
So Ohio State and Notre Dame would have never been in the picture.
Yeah, Penn State showed a lot this year too that I wasn't expecting.
I like the 12. I liked it. I like it. You have to earn your way in. There's no more just like you said, you're right. The top 4. So probably, I mean, you got.
But remember, this ranking is not the AP ranking. This is the playoff rankings.
Yes.
So they're different. Yeah.
Yeah, but you would have had, like you said, the top 4. It'd have been Oregon, Georgia, Arizona State, and who was number 3? Boise State.
Yeah. So in the middle of the road teams made the championship game. Number 8 and number 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I like it. I mean, I think it showed who was the best teams. They had to win their way to get into this game.
Yeah. And it speaks to when your conference you get in. So good on Arizona State, good on Georgia. Those teams that won their conference championship to get in. SMU got in, but good for them. But yeah, listen, once you get there, you got to play. But I like the fact that you have this is as close as college football can get to like a March Madness, right?
Well, Division
has an opportunity to get in.
Division 2 has been doing this for years.
Yeah,
Division 2 has been doing football has been doing this for years. I mean, you've got North Dakota State and all these teams. They do this, and I think they have it's like the March Madness. What are they? 16-team bracket. It's crazy to get to the championship in that division.
Yeah, for sure. Well, but that's the thing is they say it doesn't. Now, here's the other thing I want to say about this, though. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's gonna become old, and they're gonna be like, "You're the fucking old man watching this grass grow and telling kids not to fucking walk on it," right? But at the beginning of the game, the fact that you emphasize that Ohio State paid $20 million to bring all those kids into play is why I keep saying that's like minor leagues for football now.
It is. It's what
They're more concerned with how much money they're going to spend in NIL to put good players on the field than the traditions of college football, where those coaches go recruit, kids come to the school. They play at the school because they want to be there. Kids now are just going to schools to get paid. And I don't like that for college sports. I remember that, again, I'm going to be that fucking old man. I watched college football because those kids were trying to get to the next level. They wanted to be in the NFL. They wanted to play every down. Now they skip bowl games and, I'm not going to play this game because I got to get my NIL $20 million. I'm going to go to this school next year. You got fucking dudes that are 26 years old playing college football right now. For real,
making millions.
Yeah. You know what? The other thing is, too, though, when you look at that, the other side of that coin is this. There's a lot of these kids that go out there that play their heart out, and they get injured in college and never get to the NFL, and they leave with nothing. And I know that for a fact. When I was coming up and going going to watch the CU Buffaloes in the 90s, man. I remember when Darren Hagan, the quarterback there, superstar quarterback, got hurt. And I mean, he's supposed to go to the NFL for sure. But he got hurt, and shoot, I'll go to the mall, and he was at the mall at Foot Locker working there.
Yeah.
When he was a superstar on the football field.
I agree with Scott, but I think they need to regulate it. I think
there should be a balance.
Name, image, and likeness. I think that should be if that school sells your jersey or somebody buys your jersey, you get paid from that. You get royalties from the sales. I don't like that these kids are signing billion-dollar deals with Nike and Gatorade. That's different. Name, image, and likeness.
Then let's ask this question.
If you put me in a video game, then I get money. I get royalties from that.
Yeah.
I think they should get royalties for their name. If I buy your jersey, you should not. Yeah, but I don't like that they do. Like you can sign a deal with fucking Tesla and now you're driving a fucking Tesla Lamborghini and you're fucking like the kid from Georgia who's transferring to Miami for the money. Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But here's the thing, I hear you. Like you go to college, you play football, you get hurt one play, and then you're not going to the NFL to make millions. And I get it, but y'all know that a college education costs like $200,000. So if you're there to play football and they're giving you a free education, and I know it's probably people are like, oh, that's fucking dumb, but I've helped kids go through college, and I've whatever. Get your fucking education and go get a job because football is not going to be forever, right? You're going to a university to get an education. That's why, like some college sports, like take basketball. The only reason kids go to college for basketball is to play the 1 year and then go to the NBA. They're not there for anything other than to take that pit stop the NBA says they have to take to get there. So, I mean, it's like, go there to play and get your degree. Whereas, at least in college football, you have to play 3 years, be 3 years removed from high school to go into the NFL draft. But
yeah, but
there's a lot of kids in this country getting loans that they're going to have to pay off for the rest of their fucking life to be a doctor. And we're paying you $20 million. Yeah,
bro, but Devil's Advocate, that sports team makes so much money for that school program.
Good for them.
Are getting paid. And these kids are like, they should get paid to some degree. I agree.
Cool. How much do the swimmers get paid? How much do the lacrosse players get paid? How much do the baseball players get paid?
They do now. They're signing.
They do now. But are they getting millions?
Yeah, but who are we to count somebody else's pocket? Because at the end of the day, everybody does stuff for money. I mean, at the end of that's the bottom line. Like, it's just like if somebody regulated what you can get at your job, right? If you're working your job and you're busting your ass and you can get promoted, but you never make any more money. What's the purpose of getting promoted? In the way of the world today, everything evolves around money. That's just what we have created. Correct. As Americans. We've created that environment. We can't complain about it now because everybody does things for money. Nobody does anything for free anymore. That's just the way of the world.
Nick Saban's making $30 million a year.
It just is what it is, man. I mean, times have changed from when we came up. Times have changed.
We can say that, but at the same time,
look at this. The tie. On, man. We got a tie.
No tie, man. The team that I picked.
It is a tie.
It is a tie. The number is a tie, but at the end of the day, the team that I picked won. See, so if so think about it. If Notre Dame would have won that, then what would it have been?
Matt would have won by one game. He'd have beat you by one game.
I'd have beat him by two. By the way,
2 games. Yeah. He'd have won the overall.
All right, so let me ask you this, Scott. You ready? I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question.
Ask it, sir.
2 teams finished 10-4. They both make the playoff, and one goes to the championship. The other goes to the championship, but neither of them make the championship game. Who's the winner?
They tied.
Oh, they tied?
Yeah,
no,
but
they didn't.
This is the thing. We picked for the championship game.
Yes, a whole bunch of people picked for the championship game.
There was one team that held the trophy and one team that didn't.
Okay, so then we shouldn't have counted the records for any of the games except for that one.
So we'll go back. Then Ty and Scott tied.
Yeah.
Either way, you didn't win. You still tied.
Yeah, I either tie with Ty or tie with Matt.
Ty got his ass. Let's just talk about that.
Okay, let me tell you how it's going to be. So I totally believe in the NIL. I think that all sports. I was a college athlete. I played baseball. I didn't get paid shit. Had to pay all kinds of stuff. So I am excited that they get paid. Here's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see it completely separated from the football program and become almost an elective course that is part of their degree program. This can be something as simple as learning how to take money and how to balance, your whole checkbook, because most people don't understand how to manage your money, don't understand taxes, the taxes you're going to have to pay on that NIL. So I would love for it to be incorporated into part of their degree, the NIL money. But as far as like Carson Beck getting $10 million, I think with Georgia this year, and Travis Hunter made, I think he said he had something around $2 million in his bank. I'm all for that. But here's what I tell you. I think it should be worked into their degree plan to understand how to maintain, use, invest, and
they're hiring people to do that though, ain't they? I mean, most of them hire.
Well, hell no,
yeah,
their friends go along with them and spend that fucking money, dude. It's their entourage.
Nah, they're already hired like agents and shit. I mean, Travis Hunter's got an agent.
But it absolutely is not part of the
their
curriculum and their degree program. I want it to be a part of their degree program so they can get a comprehensive look at how their name, image, and likeness is going to be used in video games when they turn pro. Or like you said, if they can't turn pro and they got to end up working at Foot Locker, they're going to make sure that they have a nice car because they've saved their money. I want them to know how to use their money. And I think we're going to get to that. And I think that's kind of what Nick Saban hints about, but he's being a little bit closed mouth because I'm pretty sure they want him to be the commissioner of the college football. And I think it'll bring a lot of change. But here's what I'll tell you. It's not over, people. We're picking 3 more games. So we got this week we got Buffalo, Kansas City, and Washington to Philadelphia. So this basically Al can catch up, but there is no way I can win now. So we got 3 more games to separate this.
So these are going to be included in what we've done already. So these
overall
go for the record. And if somebody finishes with the same record, irregardless of who wins the Super Bowl, you tied, or
there's no tie, man.
The only game that matters. I'm asking.
Whatever.
The only thing that ties is shoes.
We'll pick points in the Super Bowl. That way, whoever gets closest to points will be the winner in the final game. Yeah, it's cool, man. We can do it.
Bruh.
All right.
Look, hold on, Todd. Before you go there, flip back one more point. I got.
You just want to see your comeback?
No, right there. Just stay right. I'm not even gonna go to the number. But based off of what we were talking about, you see all those little dots, all them people that's in them stands, right? all them people in there paid money. So even if these players aren't getting money, somebody is getting paid off of these people getting on that grass, kicking ass, right? So who are we to say what the actual performers are getting and what they're not getting when we're not going to discuss all the other money that is being circumvented based off of what is being done on the field? There's somebody getting millions and millions and millions. If they're giving the player a couple of millions, somebody's making big millions. So that's another thing to think about. Even if the players aren't getting paid, somebody is getting big dollars off of what these guys are doing on that football field.
Capitalism at its best, baby.
Okay, it's fucking retarded. I'm telling you that it's retarded.
All right, Matt. Matt, who you got in the Bills and the Chiefs?
Oh, I mean, it's inappropriate. I'm sorry. I apologize for that term. I know that whatever, just buy my t-shirt. So which one are we picking?
Buffalo and Kansas City.
Look, man, I fucking hate Kansas City.
The refs are gonna win this game again.
I don't care, but I'm picking Buffalo because I fucking want Josh Allen to go to a Super Bowl. I like that dude, man. And I can't stand to see 35 shots of Taylor Swift hanging out with Caitlin Clark again, or whoever the fuck she's gonna put in the seat next to her in Kansas City. Sorry.
Nice.
For all those Swifties.
I'm with man. I
got a similar story. Scott,
I don't like their quarterback. I don't like his quarterback. He's like the LeBron of football. He's flopping all over.
Go ahead, Scott. Who you got? The Bills and Chiefs.
I was just telling my wife when we were watching the game the other day. I'm sorry, bro. I do not like the way Mahomes sounds. I don't like
Kermit the Frog.
I don't like his haircut.
Goofy dad bod motherfucker.
He throws the football. None of that. So I'm sorry, man. I tried, but the sound of his voice, I can't.
Kermit the Frog.
So I'm going for Buffalo Bills for a couple of reasons. One, because I'm tired of Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a Bronco fan, period. I'm done with them. And the other one is I got a guy who I met when I was in Atlanta. His name is Terrence T. Nice Warren. Look him up on Facebook. He's from Buffalo, but he can't stand Buffalo. And he goes for whoever's winning. And so I want Buffalo to win just so I can have him be quiet for one time. Because every time the Buffalo Bills lose, he talks the most trash of anybody that you will ever see on Facebook. So I want them to win just to get him quiet. So I'm going for Buffalo Bills like Matt.
Yes.
All right, Albert, who you got?
I'm with Scott. I agree with Scott. I'm going Buffalo as well. I love some Josh Allen. So, and I hate Patrick Mahomes too. Oh, whiny dad bod looking motherfucker. His haircut's stupid. I don't like his face. Like, I'll be honest. I don't like his face. Like, his whole aura. Like, he sounds like Kermit the Frog. He looks like somebody's uncle. And he just,
this video is going to be played in the locker room for motivation this week.
He tries to act hard all the time.
Out there and blow Buffalo out.
Even the people that don't matter don't like you, Patrick.
Patrick, you get your ass whooped, bro.
I don't even like his name. Patrick.
Mahomes. Oh, how you light-skinned name? I don't know no light-skinned brother's name Patrick. Oh, punk-ass bitch.
All right, so I guess it's my turn. So we got Matt, Scott now. I got the Bills. I am picking the Chiefs, and I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
So I've been playing fantasy sports since I was in high school. I remember having Patrick Mahomes' father as a pitcher in my rotation in fantasy baseball. And not only that, but also my wife, my second oldest daughter, sat down and watched the Super Bowl with me, I think for the last couple of years, just because they're Taylor Swift fan. And even though I don't like hearing Taylor Swift all the damn time, you got to admit that Taylor Swift moves asses into seats. And
she's getting that Mo Dickum from what's it called?
From Travis, that's right.
Travis Mo Dickum.
She's getting that Mo
Hey, yo,
Dickum.
boy went back with the beard, though. He got rid of that Chester mustache, bro. I'm so glad.
Nah, fuck him too. He left a beautiful sister for this skinny white bony bitch. I'm done.
I'm with Kansas City because Patrick Mahomes is absolutely the best quarterback in the league right now. Travis Kelce is absolutely the best tight end, probably the greatest of all time.
I could agree with that.
Y'all are just hating because they're about to three-peat.
Hating on who? On the fact that he runs and falls and they throw a flag? Get out of here, bro.
Josh Allen is a better quarterback.
No.
Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback. Probably going to win the MVP. Come on.
Okay.
It's okay, Ty. You're allowed to be right one time on who's going to win this football season, because I know it's been rough for you and you're really not having a good year.
Whatever, motherfucker. I won the regular season. Y'all just won the. All right, NFC. Washington Commanders.
Talking about the playoffs?
Yeah. Playoffs?
Come on, Matt. You up?
Washington Commanders versus the Eagles. Who you got, Matt?
This is going to be a toughie right here.
Not for me.
I'm going Commanders. I'm taking the Washington Commanders.
What?
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Beast, bro. Young rookie, bro.
Jaden, go Tigers. Heisman Trophy winner. I think that he's going to do it, man. I think that Jalen Hurts can't figure out how to throw the ball consistently, and you're going to have to do that against Washington, bro, because if you don't throw the ball and you try to do all that running shit, you're going to get hit a lot, but Jaden, he's going to throw the ball everywhere, bro. They're going to air it out. And I thought the Lions were like on a freight train this year, dude.
And I like any brother named Jaden, like, because he got to. He sounds
so that's a real good name.
Yeah, Jaden. I like that. That sounds tough. Not like Patrick. Patrick does your taxes. Patrick does your fucking taxes.
And it would just be fitting for them to go ahead and just jump on in and win, being in Washington, you know, make them relevant again. Even though I still think they shouldn't be the Commanders, but we'll get into that another day.
What do you think they should be?
The Redskins, bro. Come on now. Put that fucking dude back on the helmet and let's get it.
Scott, who you got? Commanders, Eagles.
Well, here we go. I got to go with Philadelphia a couple of reasons. My man Jalen Hurts, Channel View legend, right here in
H-Town.
H-Town. Rolling with my dog. He light-skinned. He's probably the only light-skinned dude I'm rolling with other than Michael Jackson. Yeah, I'm rolling with
he ain't nowhere near close to the last skin as Michael Jackson.
I'm doing that, and also because my man Gilly the Kid and Wallow, you know, they act a fool, man, when Philadelphia wins. I just want to see him do that dance in the snow again. I think it'll be good for the city of Philadelphia. I think they need to get it back. Shouts out to them. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Philly Fly, Eagles Fly. And that's
there you go. What you got, Albert?
I'm going Washington. I don't like Philadelphia fans. I don't like the city of Philadelphia. Brotherly love my asshole. Y'all a bunch of violent criminals, and I don't support Philadelphia. Now I'm going with Washington because I really want to see Jaden Daniels in the Super Bowl. The kid is young. He's
Yeah.
a rookie, and he is doing some
Jaden
impressive
Daniels
shit.
is balling right now.
I want to see what he can do. So I'm
It's
saying
the
fuck
playoffs,
Philly.
man. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm going Washington.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is he's probably the future, man. That dude's calm, cool, collected. But I'm going with the Eagles because I love the resiliency of Jalen Hurts. You know, going to Alabama, getting his job taken, going to Oklahoma, showing out, getting to the pros. Them saying that he couldn't throw, that he was only a running quarterback, wasn't going to make it. And what do you know? I mean, he's a world champion, and they're a perennial, really good team. Even though Jason Kelsey's not there to be a center anymore, their line's still doing good. They're doing the tush push, and I do believe the Eagles are going to win.
Nope.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you know, me and Scott are right. You guys can be wrong. It's all good.
You're right. We'll let you think that for a week, 100%.
Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I don't like the name. I can't go for a team. I don't even like the name. That's too long.
It's like
Their
the Denver
colors-
Broncos.
their
Who
colors
likes
are
that
sick.
name?
Feel that.
Hey,
Washington.
I can't spell it.
Commanders.
Okay, that's too much to write. But I tell you what,
It's
I like the colors.
CDR. It's
Their colors are
CDR,
better.
bro.
Their colors are better.
Washington Commanders,
What you say about the
CDR.
Broncos?
Apostrophe S. Washington Commanders.
We didn't say much about the Broncos.
Bro, Bo Nix.
Oh, that's why I was like, that's a dumb name, like
Bo
the Denver
Nix
Broncos.
is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. I said it. I know he's 52 years old, but he a better
I can't
quarterback.
go there with you on that one.
Bo Nix is better than Patrick
Bo
Mahomes.
Nix is better than Patrick Mahomes.
You're talking out of your ass now.
I am. Fuck
He might
Patrick
be.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Fuck Patrick.
All right, Scott, take us out, baby. Let's go.
Well, you heard it here. Not there. You heard it here at the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. It's what it is. We will find out. Make sure that you guys get ready to vote in and vote out these T-shirts. No matter what you do, you gotta hold it true. Get the Mo Fire, Mo Heat, Hot Seat, Oh Shizzle, High Tizzle T-shirts. The one up on the top right there. Yeah, that one. That's your win. But if not, I'll take a cool first. Anyway, this is a Triple Threat Bet Podcast, man. Great show with the fellas, man. You guys come back next week, but I want my boys to come back in. Go ahead, Al Hero. What you got to say to the crew before you
No,
start?
just same old same, man. I love everybody. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. And if you can't kick it, Mo Dick it. You know what I'm saying?
Can't kick it, Mo Dick it. What you got, Matt?
Oh my God. So if y'all can't tell already, I'm gonna beat Scott in this T-shirt contest. I know that he feels like he's gonna win, and I appreciate the confidence and your grit and your commitment to excellence. But at some point, you have to understand that it's just not gonna happen. However, sameflagsameoath.com, telling you guys February 1st, go on there, get your shirts. There's other shit on there right now you can buy too. Just by the way, there's more than just these shirts on there. So just go check them out. Support a veteran business, support any veteran business in your community. Veterans make the world go round. We either protect the country and we can help make it go round after. So support a vet and visit sameflagsameoath.com. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. And I'm out.
Hey, TY.
Yes, sir.
Tell Matt to go ahead and throw one of them Mo Dickum sticks on my shirt because they're going to sell out quick.
I'm going to have to get the Mo Dickum on my sleeve now. It's gotta be on there now.
Mo Dickum stick on my stuff. They're going to sell out quick.
Here's the thing is I hope when Lockett comes on next week, I hope he remembers the Mo Dickum stick and the whole Mo Dickum story. Because, I mean, literally everybody whenever they came on Monday morning, they'd be like, Mo Dickum, you know, whether they were saluting, shaking my hand. So anyway.
There you go. I like that. All right, so what you got for I see the Mo Dickum stick right there to your left. I can't unsee it now.
What in the course of human events, if you get down and out, just Mo Dickum, baby. No, but I love being here. I love doing this. Love the insight from Sergeant Wells. If you're in District 3 in Florida, looking for state representative, go out, vote. Regardless of if you're going to vote for Jamie, just get out there, register to vote. Let your voice be heard. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Make sure that your next day is your best day. It's up to you on how the world is going to be tomorrow. Every little movement is a progress. So make sure that you're moving in the right way. Release the stress, take in a deep breath, blow out some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's that time. The world is changing, but we're still here. We're going to be strong. And we're going to live long. We all learn to sing the same song. I'm trying to rhyme a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe not. But at the end of the day, you guys come on back next week. This is a Triple Threat Bet podcast. I'm your man, DJ World T. You have been with the crew, and you know how we do. Miss y'all until we see you again. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe to our channel. Until next week, you guys be cool. But we'll see y'all then. All right? Peace out.